closing in on Victor Gyökeres. But regarding players staying, we reported over the weekend that Ethan Nwaneri's reluctant to pen a fresh deal over playing time concerns. But Martin Keown reckons the youngster will sign.
He's a wonderful talent. He's been protected by Arteta. It's not to do with ability. He'll get his chance. And he doesn't really, maybe it's a bartering situation for the contract, but I've met the family, the father, very calm, lovely family. He's an intelligent boy. He'll eventually sign for Arsenal, there's no doubt about that. I just think he wants to make sure he plays football, and that's healthy.
It looks like Andy Farrell's getting closer to deciding his Lions test lineup to face Australia. He's made 14 changes to the team facing the Brumbies on Wednesday, the game many feel will be the toughest ahead of facing the Wallabies. But how many are in pole position for a test start?
Obviously you know what the tour schedule is, we're not stupid, but I think attack it this week. I think for us it's about making sure the team wins. Like the team wins no matter, and obviously if we play well that'll help the team, but the team has to win. So you talk about personal performances and players stepping up, but the team has to keep winning.
It's simply not good enough. The words of Wimbledon runner-up Nick Kyrgios when asked about the faulty technology at the championships this year.
It's the greatest tournament that we have in the world. And this is exactly why I thought that Wimbledon shouldn't be trying to incorporate the electronic line calls, especially. I feel like they almost rushed it this year.
And who do you suppose Daniel Dubois' promoter thinks is going to win his heavyweight clash with Alexander Usyk?
Usyk's a formidable fighter. He's a tough guy. And I think he's going to come out guns blazing. I think when that first bell goes, I think he's going to come out and I think he's going to really try and put it on Daniel and take him out of his strides. But for me, I think that Daniel he's always had the equipment. I think he's now got the mental capabilities to do the job.
They'll meet for the second time next Saturday. That game between the Lions and Brumbies is exclusively live on talkSPORT 2 on Wednesday morning.
Good evening or good afternoon for me. I'll explain all in a second. You are listening to talkSPORT. Oladipo alongside the main man, Troy Deeney. I said good afternoon as we're in the Big Apple, New York. So we're 5 hours behind you guys in the UK. And New York for the next few days is going to be the sporting capital of the world. Trust me, the semi-finals and final of the Club World Cup are kind of here. They're in New Jersey. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano are going to put on another classic at MSG on Friday. And London's very own, a good friend of mine, Hamza Shiraz, takes on Edgar Berlanga in Queens at the Louis Armstrong Tennis Stadium. Unique. I like it. So only makes sense, obviously, for talkSPORT to be here as well. Look, loads of guests with us today. We're going to talk about all those things. Plus, we're going to keep you updated with matters at hand in the Euros as Portugal women take on Italy women. And, of course, some transfer news as well. You heard it in the news bulletin there. Arsenal finally seem to be closing in on their number 9, and we're going to try and squeeze in some Wimbledon updates as well. So look, busy 3 hours. You are listening to Kick Off on talkSPORT. Troy, looking very American. What's going on? Did you just go through customs and decide just to get all this American stuff? What's going on?
No, I'm very happy to get through customs, first and foremost. But no, we were filming down at Brooklyn Bridge earlier. So obviously got the vest on, got shorts on, and we were supposed to go back to the hotel, get changed and come and look.
So this isn't your attire for talkSPORT?
No, it's not. But then I just thought, you know what? We're out in America.
You look pretty cool.
Let's enjoy it.
You look pretty cool.
Thank you very much.
You look very good. Have you enjoyed it?
I love
so
America.
Far?
Yeah, I love America. It's we were just talking about it off air, wasn't we? It's really hot.
Yeah.
But weirdly, unlike London and being back in the UK, it just feels like you can breathe a bit more out. There's more things to do. So yeah, we're having some fun and we're going to keep enjoying it. Club World Cup is what we're here for.
Club World Cup is what we're here for. Loads of boxing as well. So we're going to get into everything. There's so much going on. As I said, a host of special guests are going to come and join us and talk about all things Club World Cup, all things boxing and more stuff as well. Let's talk about the Club World Cup. Obviously, we're down to the final 4. Have you Be honest.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on it prior to it starting? Because I think everyone's changed their mind a little bit as it's gone on.
Yeah, I didn't like it at the start, if I'm being honest. That concept of having players work basically 3 years out of the 4. Yeah. They're going to be working all through the summer. I didn't like it. I thought a few of the early games didn't help as well with the disparity. If you remember Auckland FC,
Auckland,
10-0, like things like that. It didn't help. But I don't think in the media way of selling it, where they said it's the best versus the best, and we see a 10-0 in the first week, it's like, hold on a second, what's going on?
Fair, that's fair.
But as it started to develop now, really enjoying it. The football's great. The fans are starting to get in. I think as well, the timings in which they've done games. Like, remember the Chelsea game in Atlanta, like Monday at 3 p.m.
Yeah,
hardly anyone there. It looked like it doesn't look good, but I think all in all, when you think what it's for, getting a load of players together, showcasing talent out here in the US, and getting us ready for the World Cup, it's actually been a success.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
I think the latter as well. I think the latter about sort of getting this country ready for a major football tournament.
Yeah.
So I think there have been things where, like, I did a Chelsea game the other day, and it was delayed because of a storm.
The 2 hours.
Like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So things like that can't happen as we lead up to a World Cup.
Yeah.
Fans are just not going to accept it. But I think it's been fun sort of finding out about the South American teams.
Yeah,
obviously
absolutely.
We've got Fluminense in the semi-final. Kleberson's going to join us a bit later, World Cup winner, so he can talk about them. But I think finding out about them, I think Al Hilal showed that Saudi football sort of growing.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. I think it just opens up our in the UK especially, we're very ignorant, aren't we? We think everything that we've got is the best, and we do that way.
Premier League's the greatest league in the world, and nothing else matters.
And then you start to look and see, and you go, okay, actually there's talent everywhere, and putting it all together, and depending on where people are, like the Saudi League, obviously it's a massive showcase for these guys to actually go, like, we're real players. We love our boxing, and we know what they're doing in the boxing space. They're doing that in football as well, and in golf we saw with Liv. So for me, it's always a case of just opening your eyes and go, okay, I thought I knew something, clearly I don't. But I think when you look at the South Americans, these boys play football the way that we love to watch football.
It almost seems more passionate for them.
Exactly.
Like, you know, the old iterations of the Club World Cup, you almost feel like they go for it more.
Yes.
Like, it means, like, okay, so you Europeans think you're the best at football. 1 second, we'll show you.
And also, they're physical. They're passionate. And they know if they get, drubbed and go, they lost 10-0, there's no point going home.
Yeah.
There's no point going home. So I just think it's been a real good education for everybody in terms of football, understanding it. Those massive teams that we looked at, the likes of Juventus, and not the clubs and the powerhouses that we used to think they are. They've got a rebuild to do. And it's been, again, I just love football, so just understanding how different teams are, where they're at, what they're trying to do, I think it's been fantastic.
What do you think the goal is for FIFA with this? Do you think they're trying to do once a year? Do you think it could be something to rival the Champions League, where they say, okay, we're going to compete with that once a year, or is it once every 4 years?
No, I think it has to stay once every 4 years. I think you see the backlash.
A lot of money in it, though.
Yeah, there is a lot of money in it. But so what do? Do you expand it even more now?
Yeah.
Because if you look, even in the UK, there's not Rangers, there's not Celtic, there's not Liverpool, there's not Arsenal. There's so many big teams that are not
Barcelona.
even included in it. Yeah, there's so many big teams that are just not included in it, that where do? You expand it again, make the tournament even longer? I don't think that's going to go down well. So I do think, mate, we are sleepwalking to a Super League. I think that's what this is. We are sleepwalking towards that. And if we don't, and there's a lot of pressure on these EFL teams coming up now to start producing on a much bigger rate, because, the last 2 years they've gone down, with literally no real chance, no real fighting chance. If we do that and we go away from what we are, the Premier League, which is lads who come up will try and beat you up, be aggressive, do different things, and then you get the shocks, you get the Leicester winning the Premier League. Then you're in a situation where you have to understand that we are sleepwalking to that Super League that we didn't want.
I'm fascinated to speak to our first guest, who's going to join us in about 10 minutes, Brandon at London. He's a New York Post sports anchor. Just because I want to know just how big football's grown over here. Because me and you are of the age where we can remember the '94 World Cup, and they didn't even know what it was.
Do you
know what I mean? They didn't know what it was. And I'm like, okay, here we are now. 2 decades later, how big is football over here? Like, could it, in 10 years' time, rival the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball.
I don't think we're going to rival it. I think we're going to have enough. But obviously, I do a lot of work out here with CBS myself. So you're in a situation now where you understand how that's growing.
Was that a quick plug of CBS still? Was it?
No. Just trying to get a contract. You're just in a situation where you obviously understand that it's growing now. The platform, obviously, you look at what they do with their Champions League coverage. Yeah. It is growing now, and there is an appetite for it. Just walking down Times Square earlier today.
You see the jerseys. I saw a West Ham jersey.
Exactly.
I had to stop the guy. I was like,
why?
What's going on? What are you doing? Why you got Hammer's jersey on?
Yeah, but you're seeing jerseys now. It's becoming a way of fashion, but also a way of life, and they're integrating and understanding it. I think the World Cup will be huge. Massive. You got to remember as well out here in 27 they've got the Women's World Cup. In 28 they've got the Olympics. So there's a lot of sport coming over to these shores. So I think it will grow. I just don't think we're ever going to get to the space of NFL and those things because it's just it's ingrained. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Like the Ballers League isn't going to take over the Premier League.
No.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. You're right. On the Club World Cup, Fluminense versus Chelsea, PSG versus... It almost feels like the PSG versus Real Madrid is like the final. Honestly, it's so big. But Fluminense, again, a Brazilian team versus Chelsea. How have you judged Chelsea so far in this tournament?
You've got to say they've done well, right? You have to say they've done well. I'm still not sold, if I'm being totally honest.
Maresca? Or the whole thing?
On Chelsea, on what they try to achieve, what's it? Because every time you go, right, they've made a massive signing in Delap and João Pedro, fixed the problem. Right now, what about Nkunku and Jackson?
Yeah.
Like every time you think they've fixed the problem, there's another problem still lurking.
It's like a squad of 100.
Yeah, and then the manager says, we can't win anything, we're too young. But now we're seeing that you're going towards things. It's like it's always mixed messaging. Do you get what I mean? And I still think they're in a situation where goalkeeper's still an issue. For all the money they've spent, goalkeeper's still an issue. Will Reece James be able to stay
proper
fit?
Centre-back, a leader of a centre-back.
Yeah, and then again, when you look at that midfield, when it's fit and it's available, I think they've got the best midfield in the Prem. I really do. Yeah, Lavia's unbelievable.
Better than Newcastle's.
Yeah. I think Newcastle's works perfectly well, but if you talk about players who can do everything and break you down, you got Enzo 100 million, Caicedo 100 million, Lavia, who's the player who, if he's fit, is the best of the three in my opinion. Okay. Cole Palmer can go at the top of that. Do you get when you just look at those four? Newcastle have got a great three. One of them gets injured, they're finished. They're struggled.
Yeah, fair. It's fair. Real Madrid, PSG.
Great game. I actually think the Fluminense versus Chelsea game is going to be the better game.
Yeah.
I really do. I think PSG have got too much.
Two completely different styles as well.
I think PSG.
Was you going to say PSG got too much for Real Madrid?
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I believe you. It is, but it's such a crazy statement.
Yeah. I just
PSG are too much for Real Madrid.
I think they're going to run all over them. I think they've got more quality in just throughout the park. I think when you think of names and brand names, obviously you have to look at your Bellingham's, Vinicius Junior, Mbappe. You have to look at them. But I think when you look at football, just purely football players, PSG are better. But I think Chelsea will have that style of play. They try and pass and move. Fluminense, if you've been watching them, they come strong. They're going to get after it, and when they go forward, they go quick.
They got that Arias on the right.
Yes,
Hercules through the middle. Young kid.
I think they could cause a few problems, and they're not going to be afraid of Chelsea as well. So it could be. I think that's going to be the better game of the two.
I can't wait to see how Trent. And I feel like people say I'm hate watching Trent. I'm not hate watching him. I wish the kid good luck. Yeah. But I can't wait to see how he handles Kvaratskhelia.
Yes.
That's the big one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first real test for him, where he's going to have a right winger that's just going to, left winger that's just going to go at him all the time.
Yeah, and also does the defensive work.
Yeah.
For me, he's the player now that every young winger should be modelling their game on. He's that good.
Right. I'm trying to think of an American name to call you. I feel like Troy Deeney doesn't sound American. I'm going to think of an American name throughout the show. All right, you're listening to
Kick Off. You say that yours does.
Well, Ade certainly ain't American, is it? Ade Tokumbo. All right, you're listening to Kick Off on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes, 18+, BeGambleAware.org. back to kick off on talkSPORT. We're in New York, and look, shout out to the guys at New York Post for letting us use this magnificent studio as well. All right, big football going on all over the world, as is going on right now in the Euros. Remember, it's Portugal women versus Italy women tonight, and we've got the team news with Emily Herbert. Emily.
Sides can still reach the knockout stages, but it's Italy with the simpler task. Avoid defeat against Portugal tonight, and they'll more or less be through to the knockouts. They edged past Belgium 1-0 in their opener thanks to a goal from Caruso. She keeps her place up front. In fact, Italy are unchanged, so star striker Girelli captains the side and leads the line too. As for Portugal, meanwhile, they're chasing a bit of history, aiming to reach the Euro knockouts for the first time, but if they lose tonight, they're out. They'll be looking to respond after a 5-0 thrashing by Spain last time out. 5 changes for them, including in goal. Inés Pereira drops to the bench with backup Patricia Morias starting. Captain Ana Borges also comes into the starting 11.
Deliver the goods on talkSPORT with Just Eat Plus. Get unlimited free delivery for 90 days for just $5.99 with Just Eat Plus. Selected stores, minimum spend, service charges and T's and C's apply.
All right, let's get an update as well with Ladbrokes.
It's on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
All right, let's welcome in, as always, Alex Apati to the show. Alex, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's start straight away with the Euros. Obviously, look, England got beat by France, so their hopes to win it have been dented. Who are the favourites to win this tournament? I'm going Spain or France, surely.
Yeah, Spain. Spain are shortening with every game at the moment. Well, huge dent. You're right. England have gone from second favourites to fourth in the betting in the space of one game. They're now 15-2. They are still odds on to qualify from Group D. They were favourites to win it and finishing as runners-up, which they probably will now if they are to progress. It does mean their route to the final would obviously change. That is optimistic though. So let's see how the next few games go. But it could see them play Germany in the quarterfinals, for example. It's one to keep an eye on. Spain are big favourites. They're now odds on after 11 goals in 2 games. Now they've shortened to 5-6 for back-to-back major tournaments. France, you mentioned as well, looked good value for the win against England. They're actually joint second favourites with Germany, so both those sides are 9-2. Then, as I say, it's England in fourth, and yeah, we've got a massive game on Wednesday night. England-Netherlands. England are favourites, as I say, to win that game, and if they do win it, I suspect their outright odds might be cut a little, but if they lose it, then that game against Wales could be a dead rubber, and I don't think anyone would have seen that coming a few days ago, no?
Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. Let's talk about the Club World Cup. Obviously, look, 4 massive teams in the semi-finals. PSG, the current favourites, right? I mean, they are the European champions, but Real Madrid are there, Chelsea there as well, Fluminense, who are favourites to win the Club World Cup right now.
Yeah, PSG still favourites, and they shortened a little after beating Bayern over the weekend. They're 6-4, I think, now as things stand. Then it's Real Madrid at 7-4. Of course, those two play each other on Wednesday. The fact that they're 1-2 in the betting, despite playing against each other next, probably tells you they're streets ahead of Chelsea at this moment in time, because Chelsea are massive favourites to beat Fluminense and make the final, but they're still only third favourites at just shy of 3-1 to win the whole thing. It means that the winner of PSG versus Madrid is going to be the clear favourite to win the tournament now. And I suppose, based on what we've seen so far, it's hard to go against PSG. Chelsea, as I say, they're strong favourites to beat Fluminense, in which case some might see 3-1 on them winning the whole thing as decent value, especially if you find the other semi-final so difficult to call. Got to mention Fluminense as well. Semi-finalists, 16-1 now to go all the way. Undoubtedly, their toughest test so far still awaits them, but they are just over 4-1 to beat Chelsea, and I'm sure Lenny will see a little bit of value in that.
16-1 for Fluminense is incredible in a 4-horse race. Final one, we're going early here. Arsenal, in terms of outright to win the Premier League. Troy laughs. You probably heard Troy laughing there. But Arsenal have made some good signings in the window. Zubimendi's come in. They're looking at Madueke potentially, Rodrigo. Where are Arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, what I will say, first of all, you guys can probably agree. I don't think we've had as close a 3-horse race in the Premier League betting for some time now. It's either been Man City and Liverpool, or Man City and Arsenal. Liverpool last year were 9-1 at this stage to win the Premier League. They went and won it. They've arguably got better in terms of summer signings already. kept hold of some key players. They're 2-1 favourites. Arsenal also busy in the market. I think we've suspended the Gyökeres market now, as well as Kepa and Zubimendi coming in, as you mentioned. They're going to be up there again. They're just behind Liverpool at 9-4. I personally don't think you can have Arsenal, who haven't won it in 21 years, as short as 9-4. Certainly not shorter than Manchester City, who themselves have strengthened. They're 5-2. I spoke to our traders earlier. We don't think in the last 15 years at this stage of the season, Man City have been priced as big as 5-2 to win the Premier League. So there will be plenty of punters back in City at that price. I am sure of that. Chelsea are 12-1. Just think surely they're still a little bit off the pace. I think, as I say, 3-horse race. That's surely enough for the ones who want a bit of drama. I don't see anyone else. Challenging. I think Newcastle are 20-1. Then it's 33-1 the field.
Cheers, Alex. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, that was a look at the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18+. GambleAware.org.
All right, 3 have become 2. 2 have become 3, should I say.
Man.
Brandon London has joined us. A bit of jet lag. New York Post sports anchor, who's clearly shown Troy how to dress. Troy, this is what we expected you to be doing, Troy.
Go
a
on.
blazer,
It's
a shirt.
been nasty to me already, so go on, please.
My man came in dressed like the NBA Summer League or something like that. I'm like, we're going to go play pickup basketball at the West 4th courts. Hey, but it's all good. Hey, that means you're the man when you can just come in dressed the way you want.
And he's wearing a Raptors top as well. He's not wearing a Golden State top. No. He's wearing a Toronto.
Well, let me just have a little chat with Brad. Basically, what happened is he was filming by the Brooklyn Bridge.
Okay.
We was meant to go back to the hotel, but we ended up getting chatting to a load of Americans about football, about Club World Cup. Bit of traffic in New York, as you're fully aware of. We just came straight here, so we wasn't late. So, in fact, I'm a professional. Made sure I wasn't late.
Okay.
But on Friday, I'll be dressed
I hear
properly.
excuses.
Yeah,
because there's more traffic in London than there is here in New York.
Yeah,
so you should be ready for that.
That is also true. Also, our budget doesn't extend to a driver, so I had to drive everybody.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
See what happened was with the budget.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I love it.
Anyways, let's talk football.
Let's talk soccer.
No, real football. I don't even talk NFL.
Brandon, Club World Cup.
Yeah.
Obviously, look, we've gone crazy about it in Europe, but I'm always fascinated to see how Americans go crazy, just because we know soccer here, it's growing, but it isn't competing with the big four, if you like, in terms of sports. What's it been like over here in terms of people getting excited about it?
It's two sides to it, man. Like, there's still the core four sports here: NHL, NBA, and NFL, and then you've got baseball. And we just had the Yankees Mets Subway Series. So here in New York, it's been all baseball and just everyone wondering who was going to be the Knicks' new head coach. We finally got that out of the way. But when you got like soccer nuts like me, you got soccer nuts or football nuts like the New York Chelsea Blues, there are a lot of people who have been waiting for Chelsea to get here. They did their thing down in Atlanta, did their thing down in Philly, but now they're here in New York. New York is blue, which is why I've got a couple different colors of blue on right now. But, I mean, honestly, I love it because it's getting us ready. It's getting the Americans ready for next year, the infrastructure, how how the Uber is going to work, just little things like that. So we know how to run and how to host a World Cup properly to do it, to give it the respect that it deserves. But honestly, it's been anything and everything, being able to watch the tournament, being able to watch some of the stars, not only of the now, but of the future as well. Day in, day out, play their best football on the pitch. I'm loving it. I'm having
Brandon, I do want
a good
to
time.
ask you about the rules, especially with the weather warnings, obviously the lightning. That can't happen moving forward, surely, because we've seen Chelsea wait 2.5 hours to play a game. How do you think that the American people will be when it's a game that just plays through lightning, thunder? Because that's what we're used to back in Europe.
Well, I think that you look at a lot of these stadiums, they're trying to be like you guys' stadiums over there, to where the fans are covered, and then the only thing that's not covered is the pitch. Some of them don't have that. So you got places like Mercedes-Benz, where you got the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where you got the retractable roofs. I feel like they should kind of go and play more in those type of stadiums because, like you said, no athlete. Well, there's no way I want to go back inside, kind of hang out, be on my phone, Instagram, and TikTok, and then have to go back out there and warm up. It already sucks in the Super Bowl where we've got elongated or a much longer halftime than what we normally do in the regular season and the playoffs, where you're waiting for Lady Gaga and all of them to perform. It's like, dude, they're here to see us. Not Alicia Keys. No offense, Alicia Keys. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's just something that we're going to have to adjust to. But at the end of the day, I think a lot more Americans will be more on board of just, hey, play through it.
Yeah. How would you sum up the growth of football since the 94 World Cup to now? Obviously, we've had nearly 2 decades, and me and Troy were talking about it. Like, when it came over in 94, it was still quite alien to a lot of Americans. Now, obviously, it's completely different. How would you assess that growth?
I think it's grown exponentially. You know, back in 94, I was a young whippersnapper. I had a hairline and all. I didn't know much about it. But since I was playing American football at that time, during the fall, soccer was being played at the same time. So we were just looking at it like a bunch of meatheads, football. But then I got to college. A lot of guys got to college, started playing FIFA. And then you're learning all these guys' names. And then for me, when I was with the Giants and we went over there to London in 2007 and played in that first international game, I remember I was walking around the streets of London and I'm like looking up at all these billboards. It's like Wayne Rooney and all these guys. I'm like, where's Eli Manning at? Like, where's our stars? And then a lot of people started to tell me, like, hey, this is a big thing here. So we went and we trained at Cobham while we were getting ready for the game. We got a chance to meet some of the players. So that's where I became a Chelsea fan. But then since 1994 to now, you've just seen the Premier League, the Bundesliga, La Liga, a lot of these teams doing a great job marketing over here to the soccer base. And the more that people understand the game and the energy that you guys fans bring, the more we kind of navigate and be like, okay, we'll pick a team. And for me, again, like, it's Chelsea, but at the end of the day, that energy, I feel like every American needs to feel that and like go over to a European League match, one of the leagues, and just feel how the people don't sit down. Like, I'm like, yo, your hamstrings don't hurt? Like, I've been standing up the entire time. But I just, that energy is so infectious, man. So as long as I hope the MLS can continue to get bigger name players more in their prime than it being looked at as like some retirement league per se. But the more we get bigger names, bigger stars over here, then I think it's just going to, within the next decade or two, we'll be able to compete with some of the European leagues.
Fantastic. Brandon's going to stick with us. I find this fascinating, this conversation. I want to talk to you about Messi as well. So stick with us. Brandon's going to stay with us. Obviously, Troy is with us as well, and many more special guests as well. More from Kickoff when we come back.
Just the 97 goals in the last 2 seasons for Victor Gyökeres, who we believe is close to securing a 5-year deal at Arsenal. Gunners' invincible Martin Keown says he's exactly the profile of player Mikel Arteta needs.
This guy is, rock solid. You can play the ball into him. He holds it up well. He has pace, power. I think he's quite emphatic in front of goal.
It looks like Andy Farrell's getting closer to deciding his Lions test lineup to face Australia. He's made 14 changes to the team facing the Brumbies on Wednesday, the game many feel will be the toughest ahead of facing the Wallabies. But how many are in pole position for a test start?
Obviously, you know what the tour schedule is. We're not stupid, but I think, yeah, attack it this week. And obviously, if we play well, that'll help the team, but the team has to win.
It's simply not good enough. The words of Wimbledon runner-up Nick Kyrgios when asked about the faulty technology at the championships this year.
This is exactly why I thought that Wimbledon shouldn't be trying to incorporate the electronic line calls, especially. I feel like they almost rushed it this year.
And there's only one winner as far as Frank Warren is concerned when his boxer Daniel Dubois meets Alexander Usyk for a second time next weekend.
If he can get that jab going, that's a formidable weapon for him, and off of that comes the big shots. And I know for a fact, and he knows, Usyk, that Daniel can hurt him because he did hurt him to the body.
Warren also confirmed Tyson Fury's claims that he'll have a trilogy fight with Usyk next April.
Welcome to Kick Off live from the Big Apple in New York. Oasis kicks off their long-awaited gigs in Cardiff over the weekend, and if you didn't manage to get yourself some tickets, listen up now, as you can get in our competition to win a pair of Oasis tickets in Manchester on July 19th, plus $5,000 spending money, and the hotel ends tonight, so you don't have much time. 18 plus UK, excluding Northern Ireland, for a chance to win. Text the word Oasis to 83338 by July 7th at 11 p.m. and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or post your name and number to Oasis Prize Draw PO Box 3190 Colchester CO2 8GP to arrive by 5 p.m. on the 10th. Who does post still? Who sends something in the post? This is a TalkSport Limited promotion run on TalkSport Virgin and Talk Radio Stations UK. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com. All right, Brandon London is still with us, New York Post sports anchor. Brandon, you know when was talking about the weather?
Yeah.
Because it was fascinating to sort of UK viewers to see teams go off for hours and hours and hours. What happens in the NFL in the same circumstance? Because I always feel like growing up I used to watch the NFL and they play on any condition.
Yeah.
I mean, does it happen in the NFL? I mean, it's a lightning 8 kilometers away. Does NFL sort of stop their games as well?
Absolutely. You're going right back into the locker room. Fans are going into the tunnel or the corridor. Like, that's just part of, I don't want to necessarily say the culture here, but I guess it's like a health and safety thing. You got 30 minutes. After you see that last piece of lightning, there's an official, I guess, with a timer or whatever. You got 30 minutes. You cannot see lightning or anything for 30 minutes. It has to clear out before you're able to get back out there on the field. Then you got 5 minutes to warm up, and then you go back out. You reset the down and distance or whatever was going on, and you go back out there. It's just, that's all I've known. So the fact that it's weird to y'all is, that's kind of funny to me. I thought that was standard.
Though? When does it stop? Like, okay, say there's lightning for 2.5 hours.
Yep.
I mean, surely there's a time when there's a cut-off of, okay, this game can't be played.
I've never been in a situation like that, so I've never kind of seen them call it off at a certain point. I would have to look that up to see what would be the time limit for them to kind of call it off. But here, you want to play. You want to play those games. Definitely the players, because we talk about NFL. It's not like soccer or the NBA or NHL where you're playing 2-3 matches in a week. You're playing one a week. And when you win, you want to get back out there and play again to keep that momentum going. You lose, you want to get back out there to stop the bleeding and to create some sort of momentum. So to us, it's like I want to play that game. I want to finish that game. That's just
and
the
contracts
all I know.
are structured differently as well, right? So you get paid. Some players get paid on per game, and if you get injured, so much more different. But I just think from a weather point of view, there has to be a cut-off time, right? Especially with football, with soccer. Sorry, you has to be in a situation where you're like maybe after an hour. Because it's not fair on the players, it's not fair on the fans. Do you get what I mean? I think American culture might be different, but when you're talking to a global audience who are not used to that, maybe we have to look at like an hour max and then it's finished.
Especially because if you play, an 8 p.m. game here, that's 2 a.m. in London. So I get that. You don't want to have to wait till 4 a.m. to try and wait to see if, hey, are they even going to play that game again? So I think that's something that FIFA and I guess whichever you like USA Sport, that's something that they should come together and kind of think about. But that's why I'm glad that they had the FIFA Club World Cup here,
almost as
so
a
we
trial.
can figure these things out. Absolutely.
I guess the issue is stadiums have already been chosen. In order to get a tournament, you have to kind of show the stadiums. You have to show the stadiums. So some stadiums that are not fully covered are what they are. So those stadiums are going to be used. Is America ready to host the World Cup?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're asking an American to say something negative about America.
No,
he knows America is ready, bro. You got all the biggest things here.
This is America. Everybody says something negative about America. No, that's just the wave right now. No, but when we just talk about sports, you think about the USA and what's our stereotype? We've got this type of arrogance about us.
We run the world in sports.
We run the world, and Beyonce says who run the world? Girls. But to USA, sports, USA runs the world in sports. So again, it's going back to that's why we need this culture, you guys' culture, to continue to come over here. So now we can feel it. Now this can get into our youth academies. To now these kids can be training at 2 years old, 4 years old, instead of American soccer programs in the youth just looking like, oh, let me just put little Johnny out there and they're going to run around while we sit around. Like, no, it's a joke compared to what y'all go through. And that's why we need the World Cup over here so people can feel that and we can start preparing how to be more competitive on a global stage.
Yeah, because just on that, it feels like you guys build great athletes to a point, maybe 12, 13 years of age, and then choose from there, right? Choose whichever sport, whether that be baseball, whichever. But it feels like the earlier years, especially with our soccer, it's more of a go and have fun, just go and get used to do this thing for fun. But when they get to like 12, 13, I don't think too many people in the UK understand. They then choose different sports.
Yeah, I guess you look at their physicality, right, where they can be good at. Mauricio Pochettino, who we know very well, and I think he's got a lot of respect over in the UK. Not so much, struggling at the moment. Obviously, they lost the Gold Cup to Mexico. What's the feelings around Pochettino as the USA manager right now?
I think he's the guy. You know, no disrespect to Greg Berhalter and what he brought. He kind of got the momentum going when it comes to our men's national team. But, they lost that Gold Cup yesterday, but they also didn't have Captain America, Pulisic, and I believe Tim Weah wasn't playing or he didn't play that much as well. That's two of our top players. You talk to any team out there, whether it's club or on a national level, you don't have your top two, your highest two paid players out there, you're going to suffer in any sport. So just the fact that we were able to see Chris Richards kind of get that goal, you get to see Tim Way, Ream out there with his leadership. You need to see some of those guys out there to kind of prove themselves to Pochettino. So I like where it's headed. I love the rivalry we have with El Tri. I think Mexico brings the best out of the United States when it comes to our soccer, but we got a ways to go. But I'm glad we got Pochettino because I looked at this guy as he doesn't care about the American politics within sports. The best players are going to play, and you're seeing that.
Yeah, I think also as well with Poch, you have to understand he's a club manager, right? So he's used to getting players in, getting them physically fit to the level that he wants. He's adjusting as well now because players are coming from all over the world back to America to play. Long flights, first and foremost. And he's trying to implement a style of play on them that they're not used to. So I think he's going to have to try and win some games to bring the American public over. But what he'll be doing from the top right the way through is showcase a level of professionalism that they probably haven't seen just yet. Is that a fair comment?
Without a doubt, because you just look at the scandal last year with the Gio Reyna, his father, and all. Like there's so much politic in sports. People are tired of it. Your kid's playing over my kid because we went to school together or something like that. Let the best man or women play. Let them go out there and compete. And that's what I keep referring back to wanting to learn y'all's culture when it comes and mindset when it comes to soccer. We want dogs on that pitch, just like we want dogs on the basketball court and on the NFL football field. I think when we think about soccer, it should be no different when it comes to our mindset on the pitch.
Can I ask you an old school type question? back pages, right? I mean, again,
What type of back pages, man? This is a PG-13 show right here, bro.
this is going out late in the UK. Where does soccer sort of fit in? Like, I always, because I just always imagine it's going to be so much NFL, it's going to be so much, like, how much does soccer how much is it on the cusp of people having conversations when it comes to how you guys write it over here?
It's still on the outside waiting to. I think we need that star. Christian Pulisic is a star. He is a really good player, but he don't have that aura. You know, he don't have that just that overall. That's him.
Has
right
Messi
there.
not done that? I know he's not American.
He's not American. No, we have to, again, we have to ride other people's waves. You know what I mean? Like, we got to just take y'all's culture and be like, all right, let me try and Americanize Messi. And that's kind of what, shout out to David Beckham with what he's been able to do down there at Inter. But we have yet to have that American-grown global dog superstar out there. I think once we get, because we're all about celebrityism here. So once we get that celebrity on the soccer pitch, now you're going to have kids looking at him like, oh, I want to be that guy. So whoever could have that Odell Beckham Jr. effect to where you got grown men dyeing their hair blonde and wearing mohawks, whichever that next soccer star that can do that, I think that's going to be that person who's going to take the
obvious
game.
question for me then is how? How do you get that in your opinion? How do you create that?
The World Cup? I guess this is why the World Cup's so important next year, right?
But you're talking about this from
that person.
Yeah, but you're talking about this from you've got a massive pool. 300-odd million people here. How do you find that person in that sport with the other 5 key sports above them? How do you find that person?
Premier League, Bundesliga, every time they come over here, continue to get involved in these inner cities when it comes to growing the game. Because, like I tell you, I'm an American football guy. My dad's a football coach. I train athletes both internationally and here in the States. I will tell a kid hey, you're 5'6", you're fast, you're twitchy. He should have been playing soccer from the jump, because a 5'6", 5'9" slot receiver or corner, I don't want to be that guy, but you probably ain't making it to the NFL, son. So they need to be in.
America's done so well in going over to other countries with the NFL programs, the NBA programs, and finding guys, right? So they almost find them. So you're right. It's almost like the Premier League and the Bundesliga and Serie A need to come to America, find those young kids, take them over, and become superstars.
Yeah, it's just like what they do in Africa. Like all the like no disrespect to anyone or anything, but when you look at the French, the France's national, their roster, half those dudes are like African. They come from those cultures. So if teams if we could just build it up like that, and again, not trying to be political, but I just it needs to be something to where from the grassroots, from day one, these kids are taking it seriously, just like they're trying to take their NBA and their NFL dreams seriously.
Why you got to go political for, Brandon? Brandon London, New York Post sports anchor. Appreciate you coming on. Stick with us when we come back. Wimbledon update, and again, more special guests coming your way. Good evening. I keep saying good evening. It's good afternoon because we're here in New York. You guys listen to us and watching us in the UK. It's good evening for you, Adi Oladipo, Troy Deeney. I'm going to introduce our special guest shortly. But before that, we have to get an update as to what's going on here at Wimbledon. Lisa O'Sullivan's watching. talkSPORT, Lisa.
Dimitrov. I have to say that Bulgaria's best, Grigor Dimitrov, is bringing his best to centre court. He leads Yannick Sinner, the world number one, 6-3, 2-1, and is serving at 2-1 with the advantage. The big old Bulgarian has retired injured from his last 4 Grand Slams, and before today, Sinner hadn't lost his own service game, let alone a set. So a little upset potentially on centre court, while over on court number 1, Iga Swiatek is a set up on Clara Tauson of Denmark.
There you go. More updates from Lisa throughout the evening. Okay, I'm going to get that right now. Throughout the afternoon. What would you say, evening or afternoon?
Afternoon. It's where we are.
Well, but the majority of people watching and listening are in the UK, so it's kind of evening
problem
for them, isn't it?
That's their problem.
Okay, it's true, because me and Troy are loving it out here in New York. We're here not just for the Club World Cup, we're here for some boxing as well. Remember Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, Madison Square Garden on Friday. Saturday, Louis Armstrong Stadium, Hamza Shiraz versus Edgar Berlanga. We're going to do loads of build-up to all of that on Friday. So many boxing guests coming your way. This man is here now, Alex Goldberg, Chelsea. Everyone's Chelsea, isn't it, today?
Yeah.
Brandon was Chelsea, Alex is Chelsea.
I need to know where they started.
What's going on?
I'm doing well. It's lovely to be with you guys.
Nice to have you, Brandon. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I've gone to all the Chelsea games so far, and we have not had the Brazilian turnout that all these Brazilian clubs have had. But
Alex, how crazy is the Brazilian turnout?
Oh,
like Fluminense have literally just taken over the streets.
I mean, I went to the Flamengo game where we got properly beat, and that was a little embarrassing, but it was more embarrassing just the turnout. It was like 90-10 in the pub before the game started of Flamengo fans and Chelsea fans. And normally we travel fairly well here in America because I just feel like we're here every summer for preseason games, but the Brazilian culture, the fan base, it's unlike anything else.
But that's going to change, right, over the next couple of days with the semi-final. Being here in New York, we've just been talking to Brandon about, there's loads of different activities now going on today and tomorrow. You expect to see a bigger Chelsea turnout?
I think so. I mean, it's the hub, first of all, city-wise, of the country, right? And I have spoken to a lot of people back from the UK and in Europe who said, if Chelsea make it to the semi-final, I'm coming over. If they make it to the final, I'm coming over. And I will say I was at the previous game against Palmeiras, and the Chelsea turnout was way better. Okay. So that was good to see.
The Chelsea are here now. What have you made of the tournament so far? We asked Brandon, and he was very honest about it. He's like, it's growing, it's getting bigger, it's getting bigger. What have you made of it so far?
Yeah, it's had its moments, right? Like, it's definitely not a preseason tournament. Yeah. Like, it definitely...
Yeah, that's nonsense, isn't it? A lot of people are so... I just feel like that needs to be sort of just put to bed. That was rubbish.
Yeah, I think a lot of people... club fans of clubs that are not in this tournament said it was a preseason tournament, right? I'm not taking a pop at Arsenal fans, but they're not they're not in this tournament.
Oh, so they said it was
continue.
Continue.
Okay. So Arsenal fans said it was a preseason tournament. It's not. But it was a little weird in the beginning. Like, I went to the first game against LAFC. It was Monday at 3 p.m. against Chelsea. LAFC, Mercedes-Benz Stadium holds like 70,000+. It was a bad turnout.
Yeah.
But then you get like Philly at 9 p.m. on July 4th, Chelsea versus Palmeiras. It's almost sold out.
Yeah.
So the players, though, are taking it seriously. Like, I've been fortunate to speak to a handful of Chelsea players, and they're not taking this as a preseason tournament at all. Like, they're in it. Yeah.
On Chelsea, separately, away from the Club World Cup, what have you made of Chelsea under Endo Maresca? Chelsea this season, a couple of new signings. Gittins is going to be announced very soon. João Pedro there as well now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll start with João Pedro because I know Watford, right?
Yeah, that's my guy. Yeah.
I actually think that's a great signing.
I love how you've done your research. That's really good.
Well, yeah.
Because not many people know about Watford. This is really good.
Wow.
They don't. Troy.
Listen, I may be an American, but I know Troy Deeney in Watford.
Hey,
that's all
Did you have a conversation just there?
No, that's all it is. I've just looked at 20 bucks.
I appreciate that. I think it was a 50, by the way. I think you screwed up, but yeah.
No, please continue. Before we
Okay.
Please continue.
No, I mean, like, I was on the fence about João Pedro originally because with players with versatility, they say sometimes that can go the wrong way because it's like a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
That was our problem with Nkunku and João Felix, where there wasn't a perfect spot for them. But if you put in Nkunku as a second striker in Bundesliga, that's the perfect spot for him because he just can show his technical ability. I just don't think there was a real position for them in the Premier League because the athleticism for both those players, Felix and Nkunku, is not amazing. With João Pedro, he can really play left wing if he wants to, like he did for Watford. But for Brighton, he can play as a 10, he can play as a striker.
Yeah.
That's his issue, though, isn't it? Where is his best position?
Right. But, he played striker the other night against Palmeiras, and he's physical and he's fast and he's got good feet. So it actually looks like he can genuinely play multiple different positions. Yeah. Those positional versatility guys, it can go one of two ways. Yeah. They can either fit in a few or they can fit in none.
And that's the point with what Alex said. It's more about the physicality with João. João's, I think the first video that Chelsea put out of him training, he's bodied somebody and he's getting his shots off. And the Chelsea fan base, oh my God, that's what we've been missing, because there's a load of technically gifted players, a lot of players that we would call in the game like training players. You'd love them on your team in training because they're so good. But when it gets to the nitty-gritty, the crunch time and those big tackles, they just go a little bit missing. And Kunku is a hell of a footballer. So is João Felix. Just not built for this system. And I think as well, if they could move on from Madueke, I think you'll see now there'll be a real big shift where Cole Palmer plays out on the left on some occasions and you allow João to start as a 10 and then they rotate within the game. I think João just gives them a different dimension, as does Delap.
What Chelsea do have, it seems that they've got so many players that can play out wide. They've obviously, as you mentioned, got Cole that can play at 10. Number 9's been their Achilles heel for a long time. Is Liam Delap the saviour? Is he the guy that's going to come and sort of be their number 9 for the next 10 years?
Savior, I struggle to say that word because that just makes it feel like you're guaranteeing it, right?
All the pressure's on him.
But, I mean, the familiarity's there with Maresca and Cole Palmer. Joe Shields has been doing a lot for Chelsea, in the scouting department. And, of course, that's a City boy. People joke about it, but we're basically going for all the ex-City players. But, I will say...
City and Brighton, right?
City and Brighton. We have a restraining order being put on us right now from Brighton. But no, I mean, I think it's good to go with what I don't know why that would get kind of stick, right? So Delap has a history with Palmer and Maresca. And what I like about Delap is he actually makes strikers runs, right? Yes. So and all about that. Nicholas Jackson's a good footballer, but he doesn't make striker runs. He doesn't know actually how to make those runs.
Offside an awful lot.
Offside all the time. And if you make those striker runs, whether you scored or not, you open up things for other players in the box. So I think Delap, and he's absolutely maniacal sometimes. Also, maybe too maniacal. He got a yellow card. Actually, now is suspended for tomorrow.
It's good though to see that.
I like it.
It's almost good to see that energy, isn't it, from him? That aggression that maybe has been lacking a little bit. The top 3, I think most people have as the top 3, right? So in any order, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City. How do Chelsea? I guess a question for both. How do they bridge that gap to really be competitive next season, where you think, okay, they could actually be in a title race?
So for me, sorry, Alex, I think for me, goalkeeper. Have to address the goalkeeper issue. Too many mistakes, too many times they've given it away, and then developing a killer instinct. I think with Delap and maybe with João Pedro now, you have that where both players will want to play and score. But there's so many games last season. Alex will talk to this better than me. I think I did about 8 games last year where they passed the ball. They had so much possession. They were 1-0 up, and you just got that feeling, that sense of the other team's got to get a chance, and that's what they need to take away. If they do that, with the squad available on paper, and nothing's won on paper as we know, they could go in the top 2. They could make a real push this year.
Are they too young? I look at the other teams and I look at experience. Obviously, you guys know I'm Liverpool, but I do look at that Liverpool team and I see Van Dijk, I see Salah, I see experience.
But it's experience in the key positions.
But do Chelsea have experience in any position?
I mean, not as much as Liverpool. But I agree. I mean, I thought that was spot-on analysis because, the first
half... He's good sometimes.
I got my job.
Well, give my £50 back. What is going on between you two?
No, just because, the first half of the season, teams tried to play football against us, and we have the players to actually be able to play football, right? But then second half of the season, it was just other teams setting up shop. And a young team especially has a hard time, playing against the low block, but especially a new team. So it was a new team and a young team, and Maresca is in year 1. And the killer instinct's right. We would get that goal because we do have good enough players, and then all of a sudden we just can't get that second goal, and young players get down on themselves. But, we do have continuity. Enzo, Caicedo, Reece James, Levi Colwell's really growing into his own. Mark Cucurella has been great. So we're on our way, I think.
I want to ask you a real quick question before we go to break. Does Maresca play a part in that? When he keeps playing it down, does he now play a part in that the players take that 1%, 2% off because the manager's saying there's no pressure to win, we don't need to be in the Champions League for 2 years, things of that nature?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he coddled them a little bit last season when we were not in a title race, when we were doing really well. I think he's going to amp it up a little bit more behind the scenes, but every time he speaks publicly about it, he's still saying that this year was the year that we're supposed to hit the Champions League. So technically we're a year ahead of schedule. Every Chelsea fan would argue we're way behind schedule. But I think internally he's going to be a lot harder on some of those guys like Caldwell and Reece James to kind of just take that next step with this young group, Yeah.
Great, isn't he? He's good. Can he stick with us for another section, please? Alex Goldberg, the Chelsea podcast. All right, you're listening to Kickoff on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes 18+, begambleaware.org. Don't go anywhere.
Don't adjust your sets, but Arsenal appear to be signing a striker. We understand they're closing in on Victor Gyökeres, but regarding players staying, we reported over the weekend that Ethan Nwaneri's reluctant to pen a fresh deal over playing time concerns, but Martin Keown reckons the youngster will sign.
He's a wonderful talent. He's been protected by Arteta. It's not to do with ability. He'll get his chance. And he doesn't really, maybe it's a bartering situation for the contract, but I've met the family, the father, very calm, lovely family. He's an intelligent boy. He'll eventually sign for Arsenal, there's no doubt about that. I just think he wants to make sure he plays football, and that's healthy.
It looks like Andy Farrell's getting closer to deciding his Lions test lineup to face Australia. He's made 14 changes to the team facing the Brumbies on Wednesday, the game many feel will be the toughest ahead of facing the Wallabies. But how many are in pole position for a test start?
Obviously, you know what the tour schedule is. We're not stupid, but I think, attack it this week. I think, for us, it's about making sure the team wins. Like, the team wins no matter, and obviously if we play well, that'll help the team, but the team has to win. You talk about personal performances and players stepping up, but, the team has to keep winning.
It's simply not good enough. The words of Wimbledon runner-up Nick Kyrgios when asked about the faulty technology at the championships this year.
It's the greatest tournament that we have in the world, and this is exactly why I thought that Wimbledon shouldn't be trying to incorporate the electronic line calls, especially. I feel like they almost rushed it this year.
And who do you suppose Daniel Dubois' promoter thinks is going to win his heavyweight clash with Alexander Usyk?
Usyk's a formidable fighter. He's a tough guy. And I think he's going to come out guns blazing. I think when that first bell goes, I think he's going to come out and think he's going to really try and put it on Daniel and take him out of his strides. But for me, I think that Daniel he's always had the equipment. I think he's now got the mental capabilities to do the job.
They'll meet for the second time next Saturday. That game between the Lions and Brumbies is exclusively live on talkSPORT 2 on Wednesday morning.
This is not a dig at any guests that we're going to get on over the next 2 hours on Friday, but I don't know if the guests are going to get bigger than this.
Nope.
Because we have a World Cup winner in the studio with us. My friend, I can say he's my friend now because we've worked with each other for the last month or so. Jose Kleberson is in the building. Oh. How are you, sir?
Good.
Why do you look like you can still play football?
No, I don't.
I cannot.
No, I didn't say that. See, I didn't say that, Troy. I didn't say that. You do. Are you good?
I'm good, man. Pleasure to come here, guys. Thank you for inviting us.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming as well. Excited about this tournament, obviously. Fluminense, I know you're Flamengo, but Fluminense, Brazilian team, you still must be excited that they're here.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so excited. Look at how the Brazilian team did in this competition. Huh? Mm-hmm. They compete hard. They compete well. They show for all the world, how Brazilian like to play. Mm-hmm. Also, the fans on the stand is amazing. That kind of stuff make me so happy.
Yeah, and also looking at that from a Chelsea point of view. In the UK, people think this is a given that Chelsea are going to get through. I think this is the toughest game Chelsea will play so far.
Yeah, it will be super tough because that's the only opportunity the Brazilian team has to play against top team like Chelsea. If they beat Chelsea, imagine how would they go the history for Brazil, you know? Yeah. That's why the games make the game so difficult. Also, the fans understand the time of the game. There's a 3 o'clock kickoff. It's a lot of things push for Brazil team, you know. That's why it's going to be super hard game for Chelsea tomorrow.
And one thing that this Fluminense side have over Chelsea, nearly every department is experience. A more experienced manager. Renato is more experienced than Enzo. Obviously, Thiago Silva at the back. Cano up front. Luckily, they've got so many Arias. They've got so many more experienced players than Chelsea.
He has a character, no?
Yeah.
Renato Gaúcho is a character. He's a coach but the experience that player make a lot for the team, you know, because those guys just told if you say Thiago Silva, it's a manager inside the field.
Yeah.
He talk with everyone. He organized the team. You can hear last time he's changed the formation.
Yeah.
He got to the coach and say, hey, coach, let's do 5-4-1. Let's go. Everaldo can press on the top. It's a really good. Cano, it's coming for the bench sometimes. He do a lot of skills. German Cano, it's a center forward, good striker. Arias has the best tournament. Everyone is scared about Arias now because everyone say no. When he go back to Brazil, someone's gonna buy him because he have a great tournament.
Yeah, no, I think it's been fascinating. I think it's been fantastic. Just give us an example of how big this will be in Brazil. This game.
It's a massive.
Yeah, not just in Rio, but just the whole of Brazil. Yeah,
all of Brazil because now it's whole club, all fans. Support Fluminense.
Really? Is that how it works? Because I tell you now, not all the London fans are supporting Chelsea.
No.
It's just not going to happen. So all the Brazilian fans will be supporting Fluminense.
Exactly. Wow, okay. Because it's so historic for the club, for us, for South America, because we're waiting for this opportunity to play against top team and then to compete in a good level, and then everyone deserves to be there. Like Flamengo deserves to be there, but they don't get there. Only Fluminense, and that's why everyone support Fluminense now, because it's a Brazil against other teams. Huh?
Yeah, I was going to say just on that, because when we was talking in the break, me and Ade, about the Brazilian national team, and it's, without being disrespectful, it's not the names we're used to seeing in world football, in the teams that you played against.
The superstars.
Of course, and again, that's probably unfair because you played with an unbelievable generation of players. How does it now feel with Carlo Ancelotti going in, Fluminense getting to the end. How does it feel now that South American football is going with the World Cup 1 year away? Does it feel like positive now?
So positive.
Yeah.
So positive. Like now you have like a great coach. Like it's a win so many titles on his career. We have a good players. We have a good talents. You know, we passed from tough moments.
Yes.
We lost some games. We lost like our identity.
Yes.
And then that's really difficult. Also, the references is a little bit like the time I was a play. When I was playing, I was growing watch like a top players play, like a Falcão, Zico, you know, Junior, Casagrande. Those guys like is amazing in Brazil. And then the reference like Ronaldinho, Roberto Carlos, those guys passed. Now we have so many young generation now.
Who are the young superstars then? Like, you know, we say the next Neymar. Who are these players? Because they don't seem to be obviously there. Like, I know Vinicius is there, and Vinicius is a fantastic player. But who is the next big superstars?
That's the thing. Like, I can call like a Steven. He's a top player. He's probably going to be like new, like a Neymar or Ronaldinho.
Let me write these names down to send to the Liverpool scouts.
But what is the problem now? Those kids, they left Brazil so young.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, just in my case, before I go to the World Cup, I has to be one title with Atlético Paranaense. I has to be called for Brazil national team. I has to be win the World Cup so I can go outside to play.
Yes.
And that time. Those kids now, if they have a great tournament, they have a play amazing game, score 3 goals, they already, oh yes, let's go, Barcelona want to get here.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go. And they need to adapt to play in Brazil so they can go out. So many kids get so young out of Brazil.
Because I was at the Copa America last year out in LA when it just looked a team of individuals is what I would say. It looked like you'd lost that identity. And you're talking there about young players staying in Brazil, understanding what it means to the people and the fan base. Do you think now, with Carlo Ancelotti at the wheel in terms of understanding people in his band management, that it puts you in a better situation to go and have a World Cup that we grew up watching you guys play? Like, we expect Brazil to get to the semi-finals and finals. It's like an unwritten rule. If you're watching tennis, you expect Federer to get to the end. When we're watching football, any World Cup, it's like Brazil will get to the final.
No, if Brazil doesn't get in a final or semi-final, it's a disaster for Brazil.
Yeah.
Because Brazil always, like you said, they always go to the final and play in a good level. You know, I think Ancelotti now, one thing he can bring for Brazil, it's their way to win games.
He's a winner.
Yeah, he's a winner.
He's a winner.
Because like it's a clear example. You say we want to win a game just individual moments.
Yes.
You know, you cannot do this more on a soccer now. On a soccer, it has to be great team. It has to great defender. It has to great fullbacks. You got great goalkeeper and put it together so you can the offensive phase score the goals. That's what happened in 2002. We have like a guys from Marcos from Palmeiras, Cafu, Lucio, Rocky Jr., Roberto Carlos, and then Felipe Scolari tried to make the team more strong, like with more midfielder. And then Juninho playing a game, he's playing so well, but he's decided, okay, let's put Kleberson on a game so he can defend more. The team is getting more strong, and then let those players go attacking and score the goals.
You got to finish the team. I'm sorry.
Ronaldo,
then Gilberto Silva, me, Ronaldinho, and unbelievable guys. Rivaldo, Roberto Carlos, these guys
it's almost cheating. Almost cheating. Away from the national team, João Pedro obviously has just moved from Brighton to Chelsea. We're going to see him against Fluminense. How far away is João Pedro from getting into that Brazilian squad and staying in that Brazilian squad?
I think the movement of João Pedro did it's really good for him because now he went to top club. The level of the competition will be expected a little bit more higher.
Yes.
You know? And then from Brazil national team, it's perfect because we don't have a guy like him. The guy can, and the box is danger. He can shooting. You can see like the game is against Palmeiras. He's coming in the game so hungry to score the goals. And João Pedro can play on 9, he can play at 10, he can play also as a winger.
Yes.
You know, for the manager, it's perfect. I think he can help us a lot in Brazil on the World Cup.
And Joe was somebody I played with at Watford when he was a young age, and I remember, and I said this the other week on talkSPORT, when he came in, he had this hunger and this desire to show everybody, I'm just as physical as you guys, I'm just as good. And I remember having a conversation with him because we had Aurelio Gomez as well. So obviously Aurelio was more as the interpreter. And he said he wants to be the number 9 for Brazil. That was his only goal, to go and play in a World Cup for Brazil. I think the steps he's taken along the way have now put him in a position to go and do that going forward.
I agree. I totally agree. I think for us, it's amazing to have him on the opportunity, because we're going to be so much strong. The competition is going to be more high also for the guys in Brazil, because in Brazil has a Pedro, he's a striker from Flamengo, he's doing so well. He should have gone to the national team, but it doesn't call in him. We still have a rookie. He still score goals, even like a Richarlison.
If he can stay fit.
There's a lot of players. There's a lot of players Brazil has.
I want to talk about one of your former clubs, Manchester United, because when you were there, they were the giants. I mean, the competition even that you had to start for Manchester United was incredible. How shocked are you to see Manchester United where they are now? A team that finished, 16th in the league. Manchester United.
As a former player of Man United, we don't expect that. We don't expect that like that. The way the Man United has all like a titles with Sir Alex Ferguson, with so many good players. And the competition on that situation is making us so disappointed. I think every fan disappointed also. We expect much more for the club, for the organization, for everything, because it's the moment to change. I think Man United has to be changed. It has to be bring like the whole spirit they have before, so it can compete against Arsenal, Chelsea, or City, those kind of team.
How do you look at it now, from the outside looking in? Everything I've ever worked with is about a great team and a work ethic and understanding of we are here and we want to get to that goal at the end. When I look at Man United now, yes, there's some good players, some good talent, but it looks like a group of individuals. How would you as a player, especially in that key role of centre midfield, how would you try and get everyone back together now, playing for one goal for everybody?
I think that on the football today, it's has so much money involved, you know, and then it's really difficult for you manage this with those players, because the time when I was playing, it's completely opposite now. Now it's the media. It's so quickly for guys find some situation, and some players has to be understand. Like I have my period to make strong and make the team better. I cannot get like an Man United and I'm ready to play. No, has my process so I can get there. I cannot asking for start the game. I cannot asking for man of the match.
Yes.
I cannot get the guy say you should have run from you. You should. No, I has to be understand the culture, the club. That's the Man United has to bring back, because as soon as I get there, 2003, on the locker room, the guys have that.
Who was remind some of our listeners, people watching at home on YouTube as well, who was in that squad when you were trying to get into the team?
Oh my God, I just talked about that because I got so many injuries, and unfortunately doesn't help me to make my more games on the United. But as soon as I get there, they have like Roy Keane is a captain of the club for many years. Nick Butt coming from the academy. Paul Scholes is a legend.
Can I just ask, because every player I've seen, Zidane, Xavi, you name it, they all speak about Paul Scholes and they say top, the passing is top. What was it like when you were, what did he do that made you go, oh my God? What was it for you?
Because Paul doesn't talk much.
Okay.
But with the ball, he show like the quality. He show for everyone. He like he's the guy when I go to training session or in a game with him, he like dance with the ball. He's moving like because he's tiny.
Yeah.
But when the way he's control the ball or when he's pass the ball, it's so magic. It does make him so curious to see. Oh my God, how he can do that? Because I work super hard, to do some stuff. He play.
He always does this, by the way. Yeah. Cleverson always plays down his own level.
Of course.
Yeah.
I told you before we had Gilberto Silva on, and I think in the time that you played and the position you played, that's what they do. You did the ugly things really well. The things that the fans don't see, the hard work, the blocking off the passes. So I think they always do that just because of, the way your position was, right?
Yeah, that's the position. Because I think as a center midfielder or midfielder, you are at the heart of the team. You are the guy to make everything work. Every a movement you did wrong on the field, it's affect defensively.
Yes. Yeah.
Every move forward you make it wrong, it's affect when the guys attacking. And that's as a midfielder, you have to be good reading on a game, because you have to be reading 4 guys in the front of you and 4 guys back of you.
Where's your World Cup medal?
This is my towel in Brazil.
Okay.
But you expected to have it on him?
I don't know. I'd walk around with it. Me and you would get tattooed on us.
I just wanted to ask one real quick question. When you see Paul Scholes hitting the passes, right? How many times did you try and do that? Because as players, we see someone do something and we're like, I think I can do that. And how many times did you try and do that?
I still try that.
He still got it. Who wins the Club World Cup, do you think?
It's a tough question, but I hope Fluminense.
Of course, Brazil. I get it. Cleverson member is here with the Zone, who are showing all the games live. So thank you so much for coming. I'll see you myself tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow. Oh no, we can keep going. David told me we can keep going. This is good. Stay with us. This is fantastic. Amazing. I wanted to ask you a question away from it, and this is almost for me a bit of a childhood question. Gerrard Lampard Scholes. I don't know if you know, but there's a massive debate all the time on UK TV, radio, everywhere about those 3 midfielders. If you were to rank them, those 3, rank them 1, 2, 3.
Well, first, I want to say I have so much pleasure because I was on the bench and then I watched Paul Scholes playing against Steve Gerrard. Paul Scholes, chop. Steve Gerrard, chop. It's unbelievable. But for me, because I played it with him, for me, a Paul Scholes is number 1.
Okay, number 1, 2, 3.
Oh my gosh, Gerrard is Gerrard and Lampard.
Okay.
Listen, you talk because we're doing childhood, right? I'm going to go there. The greatest footballer to ever play, in my opinion, R9.
Phenomenal.
Can you just talk to us how good he is going forward? And I think we're going to have to go to break and we'll pick that up afterwards. After break.
Okay. Yeah, are you going to stick with us?
Yeah,
I think you're going to stick with us. So we are going to go to break. Cleverson is here. Can I have a round of applause for Cleverson, please, by the way? World Cup winner in the studio with us, live on New York. More from Cleverson when we come back. live from New York as Troy Deeney puts his headphones on. Come on, Troy, you've done this. This is not your first rodeo.
I'm very excited.
This is not your
Leave
first
me
rodeo.
alone.
He is very excited because Kleberson is here, a World Cup winner who's played with some of the greats, the absolute greats, in the likes of Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo. You're obviously a great yourself, Kleberson. You are an absolute great, and we really appreciate you coming to join us as well. We know you're here with DAZN for the Club World Cup. We'll talk about a bit more about that a bit later. But I did want to ask you about Wayne Rooney, because when you were coming to Manchester United, that's when, for us, Rooney was becoming this superstar monster, right? What was it like when you first met Wayne Rooney at Manchester United?
That's the thing. I didn't know much about Rooney. As soon as he's getting United, because I tried to get my place on the team. And then I was play sometimes on the top with me and Ruud van Nistelrooy. And then I started to like that. Okay, it's good. Maybe I can make some goals, make some assists. And then Ferguson brought like Wayne Rooney. And then I saw Wayne Rooney, like, little fat guy, strong. I said, oh, no, I can compete that guy. Let's go. And then we go for the first game against Fenerbahce.
Is that when he scored the hat-trick?
Yeah.
He scored 3 goals. After that, I say, done. I have to go back in the midfielder. No, I cannot play strike. 3 goals.
Was you surprised just how good he was, considering how young he was as well? Like, again, we knew in England just how good he was because of his time at Everton. Was you surprised? Was it a surprise to you as to how good he was?
So much. Because I cannot believe the kid has the quality like he has. The power in the shot, the intensity, the hungry to get the ball. It's amazing. It's so amazing. I'm so surprised.
I saw so many people. Again, for me, the most underrated English player of all time, Wayne Rooney.
Underrated?
Underrated. People don't give him the respect he deserves. He can play as a striker, as a midfielder. I think if he tried, he could go and goal. I really do. I think he's that good.
Do you feel like people don't give him the respect because we almost expected him to be in the Ballon d'Or conversation? Like we expected Rooney. There was a time when Rooney and Ronaldo were like that, weren't there? They were together, and then Ronaldo went there.
But I think Ronaldo went there due to Rooney being a team player. You remember so many games in the Champions League where Rooney would play on the left, where he plays. They changed it to put Ronaldo through the middle and Rooney on the left. And again, I think Rooney's one of the few players. And again, we talk about Kleberson. Players respect Rooney. I don't think the fan bases will ever understand it because Ronaldo and Messi went on these unbelievable runs.
Do you agree with that? Do you think Rooney's underrated?
I totally agree because Rooney's played for the team, no? His score goals, his play with the team, his movement always to help someone on the field. And at that time, Cristiano Ronaldo started to, of course, get a Cristiano Ronaldo top level player. But Rooney did a lot of good stuff. He should have respect a little bit more for his career.
Okay, this is the best part of the show now because we're both going to talk Ronaldo. R9 Ronaldo.
You start.
Yeah, no, the floor is yours. The floor is yours. I think the record books won't agree with me, and I know there's going to be a lot of people listening and watching that won't agree with me. I think he's the best footballer ever. And I mean above CR7, above even Messi. I think he's just so special. You play with him. Yeah. What's the feeling about Ronaldo?
When the people start to make like a question, who is a better, Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, it make me crazy. Makes so much crazy. Come on, guys. It's R9, guys.
There's only one
guys. You guys not believe the things these guys did in the field. Like, it's the one player walk on the field and everyone respect and every defense is scary to defend him. Yeah. Because they know like they're not gonna be dribbling. They know it's not gonna be maximum one. They know it's not gonna be score. The level he has on his play is amazing. It's amazing.
As well, the injuries. People don't talk about the injuries and coming back and playing. The game that for me will always epitomise him. He had so many great games. Was the game Real Madrid versus Man United. The 4-3 second leg. He scores a hat-trick in 65 minutes and gets a standing ovation. That to me is exceptional. And that was the best striking performance I'd seen. His little runs down the side, left foot finish, right foot finish. You saw defenders, as you say, Rio Ferdinand, who we consider probably one of the best ever English centre-backs. You could see the whites in his eyes on TV. And you were like, oh my God, he's so good. He's so good.
Yeah, and so many injuries as well. So we only probably saw 70% of him, right? We didn't even see the best of him for so long.
No, that's the thing. And then before the World Cup 2002, he had some preparation to the World Cup. And then everyone in Brazil said, Ronaldo cannot play.
Yeah.
his knee is done. He cannot play. But as soon as he got on 2002 in January, he started to preparation, and then I saw his training. I saw how he want to be on that competition, and the quality on finishing he has. Guys, it's not imagining half the level. He shoot it from right, left, put the ball in the floor.
I'm smiling because we both agree, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you about when he was obviously Inter Milan and Barcelona. He was great. I saw a recent clip of Kaká talking about when he was at AC Milan, and there was a very strong Brazilian contingent, and they were laughing and joking. And Ancelotti said, "You don't even know who we play tomorrow." And he said, "Yeah, we play Siena." And he's like, "Well, who's the defender?" He's like, "I don't know, but they know me." And then everyone just started laughing because he said he knew he's going to go, he's going to score, and I think he scores 2 in this game.
Yeah. Ancelotti give you like a DVD for Ronaldo to watch like the center back. Look, play attention how this guy defended. And Ronaldo get the DVD, put it back. That's hey, did you watch that? No, but I believe he's watching me. And then he scored 2 goals.
No, honestly,
we have to talk about that World Cup.
Honestly, a genius. Are you still in touch? Do you speak to Ronaldo a lot?
Not often, because now is to catch those guys. I try to keep quiet on my side, no?
Yeah, those
guys
like he's very quiet. He's very quiet. Honestly, Cleberson, we can't thank you enough for coming. It has been fantastic. You're doing the semi-final and final? You're doing both semi-finals?
If Fluminense go in, I'm going to there. I'm going to there.
You stay after the break. You stay here.
You staying with us more?
Stop trying to get rid of him.
This is incredible. I'm not trying to get rid of him. I know he's a busy man.
At this point,
he's a busy man.
That's second time we tried to put it.
No.
He can stay. I'll go. It's fine.
No. If you could swap seats, I'd appreciate it. There you go. He's down for another section. Fascinating. Honestly, Cleberson's going to be with us. So don't go anywhere now. Even more reason to stay. back to kick off live from New York. Adi Oladipo alongside Mr. TMD, Troy Deeney, in the building
American name.
with us here. TMD, Cleverson is with us as well. All right, let's get an update. Emily Herbert is watching Portugal woman versus Italy woman. What's the latest, Emily?
Well, it's 0-0 as it stands. It's been a pretty poor game so far. No team getting into any sort of rhythm, but a win tonight would send Italy into the quarter-finals for the first time since 2013, and their top scorer, Cristina Giurelli, has just been denied by the fingertips of the Portuguese goalkeeper. As for Portugal, it's about pride after that heavy 5-0 defeat to Spain last time out. 34 minutes played. It's Portugal 0, Italy 0.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025 update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. Got Big McDonald's hunger? The new Big Arch is here. Available from 11 a.m. at participating restaurants.
Fantastic stuff. More updates from Emily throughout the show this evening. Cleverson is still with us. World Cup winner with Brazil in 2002. He's here for DAZN covering the Club World Cup, and he's done a fantastic job doing so as well. All right, let's have some fun with you, Cleverson. Toughest opponents you ever faced? I mean, you must have come up against some really tough midfielders in your time. Give us a few.
No one's harder than Zidane.
Oh, I love the way you just drop these names. I just can't take it. Pick up that name.
This one, man, I don't know if I'm marking or I say, man, oh, he's so good. Like,
Zidane.
And then the way marking, I was like not to try, don't stay too close to him because he's unbelievable. I tried to stay a little bit far to him. I let him take a touch and turn a face to me. But as soon as he turned a face to me, man, he's coming, look at his eyes up, the ball's here. Boo, boo. It's fantastic player.
Another player that maybe, because of the Ronaldo-Messi thing, almost another superstar that's been forgotten. Like, there was a time when Zidane was, without doubt, the best player in the world. Right, without doubt. What made him so good? Was it his size? The fact that he was left-footed and right-footed, you didn't know which way he was going?
I think he's taller as a midfielder. His movement's not quick. But it doesn't look quick, but he's a quick one to defend here.
Yeah.
He uses his body well. He knows when he needs to receive orientate. He knows what to position his teammate and make everything easy for him.
Mm-hmm. So, I want to ask you as well, do you know when you look at football now, right, and you see, and again, we don't want to sound like bitter old players, but you look
this
at...
This is you saying this, by the way. When you say we don't want to sound, this
I'm
is
retired now. Any player that's retired is considered bitter and old, you know, but I'm saying, when you look at the football now, when I was talking in the break, Kaká, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, all these types of players you played with, that all had flair, imagination, and they also wasn't afraid to make mistakes. When you look at it now, do you look at football a little bit disappointed?
Boring. He wants to
a little bit disappointed because these players can do it. So it feels like it's being coached out of them, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, because what happened to the player now? When the player, if he play when he start the game, he need to do what the coach want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For do the coach want, you have to be like adapt something. You have to put out sometimes all your style, all your to do the things that the teams need. You know what I mean? And a long time ago, we don't have that. We just put on 11 guys in the field and play at freedom, asking what you want, dribbling, passing, magging. That's the thing, the difference.
Is it as good now though? Because you watch it, and I understand what Troy's saying. Like, even when I was watching the Fluminense the other day, I was even telling you, I was like, where's the Brazilian magic? Where's the flair? The flair's gone from football. Like, there's no more individual superstars.
There's not. That's all. You're going to see more of those games because, unfortunately, that's the generations coming from. Unfortunately, we lost the reference we have before, like a Garrincha, like a Pelé, like a Maradona. Those guys, like, they just like. Did you see like the Maradona before the game? He kicked the ball, took from his shoulder. If you do this today, everyone say, "Oh no, what are the guys doing?" He doesn't take it serious. Put the ball on the ground, pass the ball quickly as possible. It's so like it's boring them.
Yeah, again, I'm in like a childhood time warp right now. We have to talk about, for a lot of our listeners, those Nike commercials that you was in, the ones that we all grew up on. Again, you said earlier you only put your cleats on, but you was in arguably the best football commercial of all times. Brazil national team in the airport. What was that like?
Oh, that one was amazing. We spent like a long time to record on that one, just for me to put a cleats and then put my socks in. And then the guys, it's fantastic. Because they asking for do some stuff with the ball. They expect they're gonna be like 1 hour to do. The guys the first time.
Yeah.
It's so fun. That commercial, and also the ones Brazil versus Portugal. I was not there on the stadium. That one's super cool also.
I remember. Do you remember the Ronaldinho one with his Tiempo boots, the black and gold Tiempos?
No.
You don't remember this? When they give him the boot in a briefcase, does the keep ups, gets to the edge of the 18-yard box, hits the bar, comes back, hits the bar.
Okay, yeah. That's not real, was it?
No, but I'm saying that's the advert.
I don't remember because it wasn't real.
Oh, sorry.
Cleverson, I'm going to ask you the most impossible thing to do. I hope you're going to agree to do it with me. Your best 11 that you played with.
Oh my God.
Cleverson, best 11.
We're going to be here for another hour.
No. We got like.
You're not going home tonight, okay?
Oh my God.
Best 11, Cleverson.
Best 11.
Best 11. So let's start with goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper, I believe like Van der Sar.
Van der Sar's good shout, isn't it?
Van der Sar.
Van der Sar was so good.
He's really good. We have like a Dida, Marco.
I was about to say,
I was going to say Dida. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I respect you.
They're not letting you back in Brazil after that. You're not picking.
We already know the level.
Okay, so let's go 4-3-3. So I'm guessing Cafu, Carlos.
Yeah, Roberto Carlos, Cafu, 100%.
Joke, isn't it?
Yeah.
My two center backs, I got like Lucio and Rio Ferdinand.
Hey, Rio's going to be happy about that.
This is some teamwork. Just stop already. You can't score.
Can I put in the bench my team or no? I don't need to start, no?
Hey, okay, you can go on the bench.
We'll let you go on the bench.
Okay, your three midfielders.
Three midfielder. Gilberto Silva.
Yeah.
He's
Arsenal legend.
Yeah.
Falcão.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
King of the Roma.
Oh, there's some big players you're going to leave out here. There is some big names you're going to leave out.
Wow. I go for Post-Goals.
Post-Goals. This is good.
No Kaká.
No.
Oh, no Kaká.
No Kaká.
No Kaká.
You guys are going to be shocked. Some are going to be leave out.
Okay. And then you've got three forwards. One we know. Obviously, let's just put his name in there already. R9. So who's on the left and the right?
On the left, I got Ryan Giggs.
Hold on, what's going on here?
Oh, this is controversial. This is so controversial.
I love you, but we may have to cut after this. If there's not one name on the right,
wait a minute. I can't breathe. I can't. So wait, just so we know, we've got Rivaldo, we've got Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Okay, so one big name's missing out. Okay, so who is on the right?
Ronaldinho.
There we go. Okay. The world is restored. It's okay. It's fine.
Just because you put like 4-3-3, I cannot put like a Rivaldo like as a winger. No?
Yeah.
But Rivaldo. He's put Ryan Giggs over Rivaldo. Do you know what? I am going to put more respect on Ryan Giggs' name after you said that.
What a fantastic player Giggs was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The technique he has, the speed, how the ball stay close to his feet on 1v1, and also on the transition to defend, to attack, he's really cool. He's really good.
There's one more question before we let the legend that is Cleverson go.
We're going to let him go now, yeah?
Yeah.
We're going to let him go.
I think we need to feed him if he stays any longer. Yeah. Estevo, you spoke about him a little bit earlier. You said he could be the next Neymar. Obviously, he scored that amazing goal in the last round. Just how good can he be in terms of what fans will see? And obviously he's going to Chelsea. So what can the Chelsea fans expect? What should we expect as people in the media in terms of critiquing him? Do we need to give him time? Or is he ready to go straight away?
First thing I want to talk about the personality the kid has. If you guys watch the game, he go for the game.
Yeah.
Probably his new teammates kicked him, it doesn't care. He's going.
Again.
He's trying to dribble. That one for a football player, it's show character, no? Show they wanna show. Okay, I can play with you guys. He of course gonna be time to adapt, especially the Chelsea building now with a lot of guys now, and the team has to be patient for him. But the important thing he gotta see for him, it's the intensity to go to attacking. When he has the ball, he want to go forward. He want to go in the final third. He doesn't want to play the ball back. He want to get a 1v1. He want to shot in a goal. I think that would be like so perfect. Like if the guys have a little time for him to adapt or a Premier League to play there, and then so I can play more games.
How hard is it for a young player to move country when leaving from Brazil? How difficult is that? Does he need his family with him? Does he need the support team at Chelsea to help him to have some home comfort? How difficult is that?
It's so difficult. I believe like all players move now to different countries. They have support for the family, for the staff, for they have a lot of stuff. The only thing young players doesn't have, it's when the game's done and then the guys don't perform well.
Okay.
That's the moment when they need like some special thing, like maybe for the coach, for the teammate, you know. For the fans, they want like the best for the team, you know. They want to win the game, they want the best. But for the teammate and coach, it's a most important when the players doesn't show well in a training session or in a game. That kind of stuff, they have support. Other stuff, they can move on.
Cleverson, honestly, it's been great having you. I'm still shocked. You played with the best Brazilian team of all time, and you've got 4 Manchester United players in your team. Fascinating.
He's got Ryan Giggs over Rivaldo.
Yeah.
I need to lie down.
He's got Van der Sar over Dida. Yeah, that's interesting. Cleverson, doing the Fluminense-Chelsea game tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow, I expect a good game.
Yeah.
Expect Brazil do some samba. And caipirinha for everybody after the game.
This time, he is finally leaving us. Cleverson is leaving us. He's leaving the building. Cleverson, thank you very much. Stick with us more on Kickoff when we come back. Oasis kick-off live on talkSPORT from New York. All right, let's get a half-time report. Remember, it's Portugal women versus Italy women. Emily Herbert, what's the latest?
It's 0-0 at the break. Italy the better side and did have the ball in the back of the net. Emma Sevellini with a rebound bundled in but was ruled offside. Girelli had a shot saved by the fingertips of the Portuguese goalkeeper early on too. But Portugal not clicking, struggling to find a rhythm in this game. Lose this and they're out too. Half-time, Portugal 0, Italy 0.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025 update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. When the big match means Big McDonald's hunger, try the new and iconic Big Arch. Available from 11 a.m. at participating restaurants.
All right, Oasis kicked off their long-awaited gigs in Cardiff over the weekend, and if you didn't manage to get tickets, listen up now as talkSPORT can get you in our competition to win a pair of Oasis tickets in Manchester on July 19th, plus £5,000 spending money, and a hotel ends tonight, so you don't have much time. 18 plus UK, excluding Northern Ireland, for a chance to win. Just text the word Oasis to 83338 by the 7th of July at 11 p.m. and you're in the draw. It's that simple. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission. I love that, the bill payer's permission, because you know back in the day you used to phone without telling your mum. Or post your name and number to Oasis prize draw, PO Box 3190, Colchester CO2 8GP, to arrive by 5 p.m. on the 10th of July. This is the talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com. All right, we have more guests. This is like a revolving door of guests now, and Sarah has joined us from Sporty TV. How are you, Sarah?
I'm great. Can I just say, you're wearing a Raptors jersey and I'm from Toronto.
Oh, here we go.
So thank you so much.
Everyone that sits in this chair seems to show some love to Troy Deeney. And
No.
I don't know what's going on there.
It's called respect.
Okay, that's what's going on. Sorry, you've been here. You've been covering the tournament. I saw you at the first game, the Inter Miami games. You've been out here a long time.
Yeah, 6 cities, all East Coast. Like, we're not following just one team. We've done a bunch of Real Madrid games and Chelsea matches, just bigger teams, obviously, but I'm exhausted. 7-day countdown is on. Like, I cannot wait.
Honestly, it's been a lot, hasn't it? It's been a lot. What team has been the most fun to cover in terms of like fans as well? So traveling around, which one's been the most fun?
I mean, Real Madrid naturally brings so many fans, but you have to give love to the South American teams. Like Flamengo Chelsea, especially because Flamengo won that game. I was in the parking lot with all the fans, and they were just having the barbecues, drinking, setting off fireworks. I was like, this is culture, this is football. I loved it. Yeah,
it's been so fun watching the South Americans.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but I'll tell you a team, this is a bit random. Esperance de Tunis from Tunisia. They had a fan base which was unbelievable. So it's good to see a Club World Cup where we are seeing different teams from all over and different cultures, different way of celebrating. Everything's been good. Let's talk Madrid.
Yeah.
The big boys.
Yeah.
Xabi Alonso, obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold. How's Trent done for you, do you think? All eyes are on Trent?
Yeah, I mean, from the first game, because I saw their first match against Al Hilal, and they drew, and it wasn't great. It wasn't a great performance from them until now. He is slotted into the side so well. He's getting more comfortable. You can just tell the way he's playing on the pitch. He's just loosening up a bit. And he's had 2 assists in 2 matches now. He looks like he's just, kind of fitting in with the boys. And I think it's going well so far, considering that this is still pre-season. Yeah,
do you think this is going to be the biggest game now against PSG? Against Koulibaly on that left-hand side, who is, in my opinion, the best winger in world football for a team in terms of going forward.
He's better than Rafinha.
I think going forward and going defensively, I think there's nothing he does that is bad.
Yeah.
Everybody else has obviously got great going forward. As you said, Rafinha, Vinicius Junior, Mbappe, whoever you want to put there. But for a teammate to defend and go forward, I think this is the first real test for
this is quite controversial what you've just said there. Why? When we say, so are we saying he's a wide forward or a winger?
I'm saying I always call him the wingers.
So wide forward. So he's better than Salah?
I think so.
Wow.
Because you're talking about somebody, again, I'm talking about, remember, I did clip it up and said a teammate. Yeah. So this is somebody that does all the defensive work as well as goes forward. You're a Liverpool fan. What he left out was he's hate watching Trent. That's what he wants to do. But he left that out.
I want him to succeed.
Context.
I want him to succeed.
There's context.
I want Kvaratskhelia to push him.
There you go. But I think this is going to be the test, not only for Trent as a football player, but for him to understand what is expected of a Real Madrid player. If this goes wrong, I'm not saying it will, but if this goes wrong and PSG win and it's comfortable, he will now feel what it's like to be at a monumentally huge club. Obviously, Liverpool is a big club, but even Trent himself has spoken about how big it is, isn't it, at Real Madrid, the difference.
Yeah. I mean, I think Kvara is going to be really tough for him, but we've said that. I've said the same thing with him going up against like Rafinha at Barcelona all season long. Like, I think he's going to struggle. But then again, do you wonder, because Danny's back in the squad now, full fitness, is he going to get that spot? Is Xabi going to push Trent into that more midfield role on that left one? Because Fede can play anywhere, so they can push him into the middle. But it's going to be really tough. And obviously PSG Champions League winners, we know that they're coming all guns blazing. So I think this is going to be the first proper test for Trent. I agree.
And again, I just wonder what you could give the English fan base about the level of scrutiny that comes under a Real Madrid player. Can you talk to that?
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys in the UK always say like English media, but I think like football fans in Spain are so cutthroat, like especially Madrid fans, because their standards are so high. 15 Champions League, they're the kings of the Champions League, and they are so unforgiving to a point where it's almost bad, because if a player has a bad game one day, they come after. I mean, you guys have probably seen in the media Vinny. I mean, like, they have gone after him because he's arguably one of the most regressed players in football for whatever reason it may be, but they don't care. They are so unforgiving. And like, the standard that Real Madrid is, one of the biggest clubs, if not the biggest club in football, it's going to be a lot for Trent to handle. Like, mentally it plays on the players for sure.
I felt like because of the Trent saga, and it felt like a saga in the UK, no one really spoke about Xavi Alonso coming in. It's almost like he's come in and no one spoke about Carlo Ancelotti, who won everything, leaving. It's almost a big competition for Xavi as well, to show that he is the true successor to Carlo Ancelotti. Yeah,
but I think Madrid fans were so over Carlo Ancelotti at that point. I think he had one season too long that they were just so happy to get him out the door at that point. But that's what I mean when I say unforgiving, because they've almost forgot like everything he's done, and they were like, we need the next one. But Xavi's come in. I've got the privilege to speak to him, I think, twice now. He's so happy. He's back home. Like when you've played for that team, now you're managing. Like, it's a great story, but I think he's already implementing so many changes. Like, the formation's changed.
That's what I was going to talk about. Yeah, tactically, I think that's where the fan base have not let him have a bit of time, but they know they're getting a coach now. And Carlo Ancelotti, you get a manager, you get somebody that wins you things. I think now the tactical tweaks have been really evident to watch. And can you just tell us about those small tweaks that you've seen?
I mean, when you aren't able to play Kylian Mbappe, obviously that's a lot of pressure already, but you've had Gonzalo Garcia, who has stepped up and maybe been the player of the tournament so far, best young player at least, and they're playing like a 4-4-2 instead of a 4-3-3 now, and so they're going with Vinny and Gonzalo Garcia, and then
say that name again.
Gonzalo Garcia.
See, when someone says it correctly, it makes me feel like I've said his name wrong for all of my life.
You have.
Gotta say Gonzalo Garcia. Yeah.
Well, I feel like you English, because how do you say the Santiago Bernabeu?
We don't even say it.
Santiago Bernabeu.
Santiago Bernabeu.
The Bernabeu.
The Bernabeu. Yeah. We call it the Bernabeu. Yes.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, it seems like it's working anyways, and I think, though, there's still a lot to assess for Alonso, though, because obviously he had time at Real Sociedad and then Bayer Leverkusen, but comparing those clubs to Real Madrid, like, it's going to take time, but I think fans are just happy to see changes being made and things clicking already, because it gives them hope for the start of next season, because let's be honest, their season last season was poor.
You know what this feels like, Troy? This almost feels like the first time where there is genuinely a team that is trying to take Real Madrid's place as the best team in world football and trying to take it for the next decade. I look at PSG and their want over the last 10 years is finally happening now.
Yeah.
And this game almost represents two giants colliding where PSG feel like, if we can beat Real Madrid, now we are the alpha males here. We are that team.
I'd agree with that, but I think what you've seen with PSG and Real Madrid, always like a Galactica, they always like a big name. But what PSG have done is gone, right, we've tried that with Mbappe, with Messi, with Neymar. Now let's go and get the best team with the best coach. I think Luis Enrique is the best coach in world football at the moment. And they've gone and got a team, and they've been very deliberate with who they've bought and what position, and obviously age profile as well. So for me, I think we are looking at the next 10 years of PSG. I don't see a weakness in that team.
How much do Madrid care about this tournament? I'm always like, that's always been the conversation. Like,
well, I think obviously like money plays a factor.
Yeah, it helps.
It does help. I mean, even for a team like Real Madrid, it does help. But I think it's the fact that they had such a poor season that if they win this, they can go and say, yeah, but we still won a trophy. Because they will. Because they will. Even though, you know, I know people are holding this Club World Cup to different standards, but it will still be a trophy in their cabinet. So I think for them, it could be a bit of a saving grace as well as the best motivation to push them into next season.
Can I just ask you, with Real Madrid?
Yeah.
If everyone's fit, what is their best midfield? Because I think that's the area that they've got to figure out.
Well, I think you have to say right now, like, you need Jude in that middle, and he's also had a brilliant performance, right, in this Club World Cup. For me, Fede is the most important player at Real Madrid, though, no doubt. He's the engine, and he can play anywhere, but he's best on the right. And then on the left, I mean, you've seen Camavinga there, you've seen Tchouaméni, obviously Modric on his way out. But with Modric on his way out, you'd like to think that it would be a player like Camavinga, but right now Arda Güler is also having a brilliant... So right now for me, it's somehow between Güler, Bellingham, and Fede. With what I've seen from this Club World Cup, because in a matter of weeks, some of these players, like, I didn't think Jude had a great season overall with Madrid, but his last 4 games of the Club World Cup have been amazing. So I'd say between those, it's those three right now.
That's the problematic area, isn't it, for Xabi Alonso to fix?
What are the Spanish media like with Jude? I feel like the English media with Jude are horrible sometimes. I think that's the only word I can use to describe the way in which he gets so much bad press. What are the Spanish media like when Jude does have a couple of bad games? And we have seen it. I mean, normally he's fantastic. But sometimes when he slips off a bit, the English media seem to jump on his back quite a lot. Are the Spanish media as harsh with him?
Not with Jude, I would say, because he came in and had such a good starting season that I think they really respect him and they're really thankful for him, especially the Madrid media side of it all. But they still can be a bit harsh. But with Jude, I think they've given him a lot of grace because he came from Dortmund and just absolutely blew up with Real Madrid and was incredible for that side.
And also, he gives them more access.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the problem in the UK is that they keep him at arm's length. They keep the UK media at arm's length, whether that be with Real Madrid, whether that be with England. And I think there's a little bit of an agenda bubbling under the surface, personally.
Yeah.
The thing is with Jude as well is he also does great interviews. Like, he's so well spoken that I think Spanish media appreciate that because Real Madrid players in general tend to be very media trained, and even though he still gives like a proper answer and he'll still add a little bit of personality to it. Some of the players you speak to are just so switched off, and you can't blame them because they'll get attacked by the media. But because of that, Jude, I think when he speaks to the media, they can feel a bit more like of him and who he is.
Yeah.
Finally, how surprised were you when Trent started speaking Spanish?
No, lost my mind. Like, I couldn't even...
I nearly threw my TV.
A Scouser.
I nearly picked this up and I was like, I couldn't
Have
believe
you seen
it.
everyone on social media is like, he's not Scouse anymore?
Yeah, he's now Spanish.
How do you feel about Liverpool moving forward without Trent?
I feel comfortable and confident.
You sure?
I think Frimpong, I think Conor Bradley, I think we'll do okay.
Do you feel that little bit of negativity?
You know what it is, and you know what it is as well. There's a bit of a rivalry with Liverpool and Madrid. Obviously, you know, in Champions League at least, right? I mean, we look at them as our rival.
Yeah.
So it is quite painful. You're doing an incredible job, Sarah, with Sporty TV.
You.
Are you enjoying it?
Love it. I'm so happy. Yeah.
Apart from wanting this tournament over to go home.
The tournament has just been exhausting for me. I'm not even playing the football, so I can't even imagine for the players. But I just think the States is so big, you forget that, like, traveling up and down. And I'm only doing the East Coast, but it's been such a blast and such an experience. And yeah, I've really.
And just think, when it is over in 7 days' time, 2 weeks after, we do it all again.
Well, no, I go straight to do the Women's Euros. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And then you're back here for the World Cup. Just quickly, how do you think this country is sort of handling hosting a massive tournament like this? Because everyone's getting excited about the World Cup, and some are nervous. There's a bit of trepidation. You've been on the ground.
I'm one of them. I'm one of the nervous ones, especially because we're adding Canada and Mexico to it. It's just like adding extra unnecessary almost travel because Canada and Mexico are hosting the least amount of games, but they're still hosting games. So it's just, you know, a little bit more travel for these players. I've spoken to the players. They're not happy with the pitch conditions. Obviously that is something that needs to change, no doubt. And they have a year to do it. So I know it's possible, but there's things like weather that is so out of everyone's control, but it's delaying. Like Bayern, I know, couldn't take off on time a couple of days ago for their last match because there was like a storm. We're struggling making flights. Fans then, how are they getting back and forth because the weather is actually such a factor? But
I thought you were going to swear there.
I didn't know.
I thought he was going to.
No, I'm professional.
No, that's good. It's good.
No, I'm a professional. But no, it's something you can't control, and no one can control it. But it's genuinely affected everyone in all aspects. So how is FIFA going to deal with that? I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pereira. Sada Pereira. Close. There you go. Sada, Sport TV. Thank you very much. Are you sticking with us for another section? Is she going? She's going. Okay. Sarah, appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers. Stick with us. Loads more on Kickoff when we come back.
Don't adjust your sets, but Arsenal appear to be signing a striker. We understand they're closing in on Victor Gyökeres. But regarding players staying, we reported over the weekend that Ethan Nwaneri's reluctant to pen a fresh deal over playing time concerns. But Martin Keown reckons the youngster will sign.
He's a wonderful talent. He's been protected by Arteta. It's not to do with ability. He'll get his chance. And he doesn't really, okay, maybe it's a bartering situation for the contract, but I've met the family, the father, very calm, lovely family. He's an intelligent boy. He'll eventually sign for Arsenal, there's no doubt about it. I just think he wants to make sure he plays football, and that's healthy.
It looks like Andy Farrell's getting closer to deciding his Lions test lineup to face Australia. He's made 14 changes to the team facing the Brumbies on Wednesday, the game many feel will be the toughest ahead of facing the Wallabies. But how many are in pole position for a test start?
Obviously, you know what the tour schedule is. We're not stupid, but I think, attack it this week. I think, for us, it's about making sure the team wins. Like, the team wins no matter, and obviously if we play well, that'll help the team, but the team has to win. You talk about personal performances and players stepping up, but, the team has to keep winning.
It's simply not good enough. The words of Wimbledon runner-up Nick Kyrgios when asked about the faulty technology at the Championships this year.
It's the greatest tournament that we have in the world, and this is exactly why I thought that Wimbledon shouldn't be trying to incorporate the electronic line calls, especially. I feel like they almost rushed it this year.
And who do you suppose Daniel Dubois' promoter thinks is going to win his heavyweight clash with Alexander Usyk?
Usyk's a formidable fighter. He's a tough guy. And I think he's going to come out guns blazing. I think when that first bell goes, I think he's going to come out and think he's going to really try and put it on Daniel and take him out of his strides. But for me, I think that Daniel he's always had the equipment. I think he's now got the mental capabilities to do the job.
They'll meet for the second time next Saturday. That game between the Lions and Brumbies is exclusively live on talkSPORT 2 on Wednesday morning.
I'm going to say evening. I'm going to say good evening because all the viewers watching back home, thank you to everyone watching on YouTube, everyone listening right now. This is Kickoff live from New York. Adi Oladipo and Mr. TMD in the building. We've had some really good guests, haven't we?
It's been an amazing 2 hours.
Honestly. I mean, to have Cleberson, to have Sarah, I think, honestly, and she's fantastic as well, isn't she?
Yeah, I thought Alex was very good as well. Chelsea podcast. Yeah, it's been a good couple of hours. But
it's been a good couple of hours.
Now it's just us two for a little bit.
Yeah, let's bring the mood down a bit. Let's talk some Arsenal transfers.
Let's start.
Let's talk some Arsenal transfers. Obviously, Zubimendi got confirmed yesterday to bolster up that midfield. It looked like he was going to go to Liverpool last season. Obviously, that didn't happen. He's now at Arsenal. Do you think it's an improvement? Do you think that's enough for Arsenal to really kickstart a title challenge?
I think it's an improvement from a ball playing, keeping the ball type of place. I don't think he has the energy plus the defensive awareness that Partey had.
Yeah.
And you know, from what I understand from people I know at Liverpool, they weren't too disheartened by not getting him. I think they thought it would, slow their game down too much. So it'd be interesting to see how Arteta brings him into the fray. But again, I think if you're an Arsenal fan and you're looking at it, you've got a goalkeeper coming, you've got another centre-back, you've got another holding midfielder. The only thing you've wanted all for probably about a year and a half now is a striker. And it seems to me that I don't think they're sold on Gyökeres. I really don't. Because you just go and get him, you get it done. Same way that Liverpool did with Wirtz, just went bang, go and get him, get it finished. I think they're worried that he's not only the short-term answer, but not the long-term answer.
Yeah, there's clearly an issue there. I mean, as you say, Arsenal have been searching for a number 9 for 2 seasons. Why are you just starting to almost pull the trigger on him and just go for it straight away? Surprises me. I do wonder if there was an issue with Sesko, because that seemed to be their first choice.
Yeah, probably a bit young, not sure, bit of inexperience.
Why haven't they not just gone and got Ollie Watkins? Like to fill that gap in terms of knowing, and someone that scores Premier League goals.
Yeah,
because that's the fear with Gyökeres, right? Gyökeres, would he score Premier League goals? Will Sesko score Premier League goals? Why not just go and get Ollie Watkins, who does score Premier League goals?
Yeah, especially when you knew Villa had to make the cuts of PSR.
He's an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, okay, that maybe that actually played a part against him. Does he get too emotionally involved if he joins Arsenal?
Fair.
But I agree with you. A short-term fix, go and get Ollie Watkins. I just don't know. I just feel like, this is my opinion, I think Arteta's a little bit stubborn at this moment in time. Because everyone's been calling for it, why do I want to... If he does that and then wins it, it's going to be like, oh, we told you that. Okay. It's not going to be his thing. Yeah. I think there's a little element of stubbornness and we can do it our way. He will have Havertz back. He will have Jesus back for the start of this season. 2 players that he loves and feels that they have given the club the service he wants. I find it interesting that we're seeing more talk with Madueke.
Yeah.
That looks like it's closer to being done than the strikers
Seems to have come from nowhere, that as well.
Yeah.
It surprised a lot of people.
I think as a squad, they're going to be better. I'm not sure whether they can still get over the line.
Okay, one player that definitely, I think, improves the starting 11 is Eberechi Eze.
Oh,
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And
do you think that gets done? I'm not convinced.
I think Palace will be stubborn with the fee.
Yeah.
And they've got a right to be stubborn with the fee. Obviously, look, they've got their issues now about playing in Europe, but hopefully that gets resolved. But if they want a European run, you want Eze, you want Mateta, you want Guehi, you want your whole squad there.
Yeah, of course. I think they're prepared to lose Guehi, obviously, because last year his contract. I think Eze, I don't think they will. I think for Eze as well, with a World Cup year, playing for Palace week in, week out, being the main man and playing in Europe, gives him more chance of being in that England squad than going to Arsenal and being rotated. Do you get what I mean?
Does he not back himself? I mean, you've been in those positions where you've got to say, I back myself to start in front of Martinelli.
Yeah, of course.
If it's on that left-hand side.
Of course, but you're talking now about that's the risk that's been weighed up from an Eze point of view. And sometimes for some people, it's better where you're known. He's the big fish in that pond at Palace. Yeah. They're going to play everything through him. They're going to give him as much money as they want to keep him. You're going to play in Europe. Arguably, if Gahey goes, you could be the captain. There's a lot of things keeping him at Palace for one more year. Get this World Cup out, have a good World Cup, then do you go to an Arsenal, Man United, whoever?
I wonder if you're on Eze, I wonder if you look at what's happened to Elise. And Elise's gone fivefold, hasn't he? Mm-hmm. I mean, all of a sudden, he's starting for Bayern Munich, and he backed himself to go to a massive club. He's starting for France. Yeah. And surely, if you're Eze, you're looking at that, and he'll still speak to Elise. Surely, the next step is to go to, and this is no disrespect to Palace, I think Palace are a well-run club, but Arsenal's a much bigger club. Surely, at the stage of your career, what is he, 27? Yeah. You make that jump now.
Yeah, I get that, but I think, again, age comes into it. Elise, what's Elise, 23?
Yeah.
Again, young man, playing there, went to the Olympics. Bayern weren't the Bayern that we're now seeing. Fair. So it was a nice moment to go and transition. I think when you look at Arsenal, the expectations, you go and you win the league. And I think that's a bit of a different type of move.
Very, very quickly on this one. Will Arteta win the league next season? If not, what happens?
No, I don't think they win the league. I don't see how you can take away from Liverpool, who have improved significantly. Yes, Trent's gone, but they've improved significantly. He has to win something, whether that be a League Cup, an FA Cup, you name it.
A League Cup won't suffice now, will it?
No, I think it will.
The wait's been so long, a League Cup ain't sufficing.
No,
you know this.
I think he will. I think he'll be in a position where he does that. I think there's an interesting bet to see whether they finish in the top four.
Oh, okay. And on that bombshell, you're listening to Kick Off on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes 18+, begambleaware.org. York, Adi Oladipo. I'm going to stop calling him TMD. Troy Deeney is with us as well. Ben Jacobs is here as well. Loads to talk about with Ben regarding transfers. But let's get an update as to what's going on in the Euros. Remember, it's Portugal women versus Italy women. Emily Herbert watching for talkSPORT. Emily.
It's still 0-0, but it's all still to play for. If Italy win, they're through to the knockouts. If Portugal lose, they're out of Euro 2025. And Italy are on top and started this first half brightly. 3 shots on target to Portugal's 0. Sevellini, who scored that offside goal in the first half, has just put it over the bar. 60 minutes on the clock. Portugal 0, Italy 0.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025 update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. The new and iconic Big Arch has landed at McDonald's, featuring an unbeatable lineup of juicy beef, cheddar cheese, and its very own signature sauce. Available from 11 a.m. at participating restaurants.
All right, it's time now to look at the latest football action with Ladbrokes.
The big preview on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our odds boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
It's special guest every single section now, and another special guest has joined us, Ben Jacobs, transfer reporter for talkSPORT. Ben, let's go straight into it. Anthony Elanga done. Nottingham Forest to Newcastle. Tell us more.
Yeah, a medical will take place in the next 48 hours. Anthony Elanga has agreed a 5-year contract. Newcastle delighted to get this over the line because they were struggling for those right-sided players. We know they looked at Antoine Semenyo and also Brian Mbeumo, who continues to be in talks with Manchester United. The fee in total is £55 million.
55 what?
£55 million, £52 million guaranteed, plus £3 million in add-ons. And now formalisation will take place. So one through the door for Newcastle, but a very high price, and one that might impact some other names in the market. Because if, for example, you're Chelsea, Noni Madueke, possibility he goes to Arsenal, you're going to be taking that Elanga number and saying, I want minimum like for like.
But is that not driven up by the Man United got a 20% sell on, I think, is it?
Yeah, Manchester United have got a sell-on, so they paid around £15 million. Anything above £15 million, they'll get their sell-on percentage. But I think in essence, you're seeing a window where a lot of these kind of players are between 50 and 65 million. So if you're Chelsea, they paid 29 million for Noni Madueke. They'll be looking for about double their money if they are to sell him to Arsenal.
You do wonder. And look, we'll get to the Newcastle element of what it means for Newcastle, because again, I do think they're now building a squad that they could challenge the top 4. What it means for Nottingham Forest, and whether Nuno gets to reinvest that money. All of a sudden, that really good Nottingham Forest side looks like it's being broken up a little bit. Morgan Gibbs-White is forever being linked with Man City, and you do wonder if this good Nottingham Forest side that you would hope would add players is now the opposite happening. They're losing players.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be the case, right? They overperformed, overachieved massively last season. You know when that happens, someone wants to come in and take your players. But I think when you just look at it from a Newcastle point of view, they've obviously had Murphy on that right-hand side. Again, great player, but has overperformed, and he would be the first to say that. But when they lose Anthony Gordon, that outright pace and directness, they've been looking for that and they've struggled. So I think now you're looking at Eddie building a team at Newcastle that can also go, right, 1 week we're going to have to play Prem, Champions League, Prem, maybe an FA Cup or something in there. How do I switch that front 4 around? And they'll need another striker as well, because if Isak gets injured, then they're in a real bad way.
Yeah, Callum Wilson obviously left the club as well. Announced that today on his social media. You mentioned Man United getting a sell-on fee. They do. They get 8 million. For it, so Manchester United can reinvest that money and maybe go back to Brentford and say, 1 second, Brentford, we have 8 more million now for Mbeumo. What's going on with Brian Mbeumo at Manchester United?
Well, I think it'll be more Brentford saying, you've got 8 million, we want the 8 million. I think Manchester United will keep that sell-on quiet. But the situation is Manchester United are prepared to bid again for Brian Mbeumo, but they want the offer, which should be number 3, to be their final one. And this is a disciplined Manchester United now, where it may appear that this is advancing and the expectation is the deal gets done, but if it gets to the point where it needs 4, 5, 6 bids, then Jason Wilcox and his team are prepared to walk away. They don't want long-running summer sagas with a Manchester United tax. The good news for Manchester United fans is that the valuation between the clubs is not far off. Manchester United's last bid was 55 million guaranteed, 7.5 million in add-ons. Those add-ons, to my understanding, were not gettable enough in the eyes of Brentford, and as a consequence Manchester United are either going to have to make that 7.5 very likely to be achievable, and Brentford want to tie it to Mbeumo and his appearances, not for example Manchester United in Champions League football, Or if they want to leave those add-ons as is, and some of them are more difficult to get, then guaranteed fee will have to go a little bit higher than 55 million. But the expectation is still that Mbeumo is a Manchester United player. It just may take a few more days.
Is there any way where Tottenham can somehow hijack this and he does join Thomas Frank at Spurs? Is there any conversation there?
Bryan Mbeumo only wants Manchester United. Players always say their preference within a negotiation, but very rarely do they inform other suitors. And in this case, Mbeumo has told Tottenham he only wants Manchester United. So even though Brentford are saying there's a scenario where he could stay, that player desire eventually is expected to get a deal done.
All of a sudden, that United front line has goals now, doesn't it? You look at Cunha, look at Mbeumo. I mean, that's 50 goals, isn't it, from what they didn't have last season?
Yeah, I think Brian's an unbelievable football player. Again, he adds set-piece value to that as well. Can take penalties, can take free kicks, take corners. When obviously they got Bruno Fernandes, he was fantastic at that. But I think you do need to have a little refresh there. I'm still concerned that Man U will pay a little bit too much. I like the numbers you're talking about, 55, maybe 60 with a couple of add-ons. But I think if you start looking at like 70 million for Bryan Mbeumo, I think that's a deal I don't like that. I think it adds too much pressure to Bryan. But also Man U have still got to get probably another holding midfielder, probably another left back, probably another centre half. So when you start looking at it like that, it's a lot.
The most important position, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that one alone.
Okay. Let's talk Victor Osimhen, who's been linked with so many Premier League clubs, linked to Saudi. Looks like it could be Galatasaray. They get the Nigerian striker.
Yeah, big surprise, because when Victor Osimhen went on loan to Galatasaray, it felt short-termist, and the expectation with the industry has been that Saudi Arabia would eventually succeed in signing Victor Osimhen, but Al Hilal failed right up until the deadline of June the 10th before the Club World Cup started. Then they started talks again, and you started to wonder, is Victor Osimhen just going to wait a little bit, go on holiday, and still join Saudi Arabia? But now there's a situation where Al Hilal have agreed terms with Napoli because they've said, will trigger the 75 million euros release clause, and yet no green light from Osimhen. Galatasaray is the opposite. They've got a green light from Osimhen on significantly less terms than Saudi Arabia were offering, but no agreement yet with Napoli. Their last offer totaled around 60 million euros. Napoli, because they've got the Saudi offer, are saying it's 75 million euros. So there is a gulf in valuation. At the moment, the feeling is that Galatasaray will be able to reach an agreement with Napoli for less than that 75 million euros. But at the moment, we're not there yet. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not that club-to-club agreement comes. If it does, Osimhen will join Galatasaray very quickly. If we get another twist and Galatasaray walk away, it's an open situation. Al Hilal is still there. Premier League clubs feel his wages are too high, but the longer perhaps the window goes on, and if Osimhen still doesn't have a club, maybe he'll have to make some concessions, and it might open the door to other clubs.
Interesting. All right, Ben, I know you've been following Chelsea out here, and you spoke to the Blues' new man, João Pedro, earlier, and you asked him what his favourite position is.
I would say striker. I like to play number 9, but also I like to feel free on the pitch. That's what Enzo said to me. Play like a number 9, but also come deeper to link up with the other players. I'm a very technical player. I like to score as well. And I think also I play like a 9, but I also have a mind like a 10 as well. So I think this link up, this combination with the teammates, I think will be good for Chelsea.
João Pedro, Chelsea's new man, making that move from Brighton to Chelsea, which is a big jump, but we've seen other players do that jump. Cucurella's done it fantastically. Enzo's now really starting to perform as well. Sorry, Moises Caicedo, apologies. A number 9, is that his best position? He seems to be someone that floats in and around a 10, a 9, a wide forward.
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing that he said in that interview was that he sees himself as a 9, but he's got the mind of a 10, and that's perfect for Chelsea, a player that can play in more than one position. My expectation after Liam Delap arrived at Chelsea was that the next forward, which is now Pedro to come in, would be more a Christopher Nkunku type mould, because there's still a realistic chance that he departs. Then if Noni Madueke joins Arsenal, you've got somebody that actually can filter wide, play behind the striker, or as a number 9. I'd be surprised if Nicholas Jackson stays, and with Liam Delap being brought in not just to be the number 9, but actually shoulder the burden of wearing the number 9, if João Pedro ends up supplanting both and is like a regular advanced number 9 target man. It feels more like the competition for 9 at the moment is Jackson or Delap, and then Pedro has to play behind in that more versatile role.
Yeah. Chelsea's best player for the first half of last season by a country mile was Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
In that 10. Obviously, we're seeing Enzo sort of push him over, aren't we, to the right a little bit. Are we losing the influence and brilliance of Cole Palmer here with this João Pedro signing? Because I almost feel like Cole Palmer's the 10. And now all of a sudden, I was watching Cole the other day, and he seemed to almost be lost out wide. And you feel like, what's happening here? Like, I almost feel like there's a problem brewing that we're not seeing happen here. And I feel like Cole Palmer as a 10 surely is the best, maybe in the country as a 10. But João Pedro coming now looks like he's going to take the 10.
I hear your point. I think we're looking at, you've touched on a few things there. I think there's a few problems brewing at Chelsea. I think Nicholas Jackson, where does he go next? I think if he stays, he wants to be the